Hey everybody, how you guys doing? I see Vidi says hi to James Leron. How's it, Vidi? Good to have you here. Not too sure how many we're going to have on today. I've had a couple of people that said that they need to do some of that horrible stuff called CPD. Heaven forbid. So I know there are one or two people that are out doing that, and there are one or two that have just struggled a bit with this time slot, so they generally tend to pick up the replay. So we'll just wait a couple more minutes to see. So we've got Colin, Vidi, and Edino on. So I do know a couple of have excused themselves for today. So we might have a small session today, but it's a very exciting session. One of the bonus sessions that I'm going to weave in, because I felt that it's going to be really important for us today. It's going to pick up really on what we did last week. And it's also going to be a precursor for something that can be standalone. So I'm very excited. It's going to link into the messaging. It's going to show you what to do with those email addresses that we get with those first level connections. And it's also going to show you how to actually go ahead and to get more email addresses that are not necessarily LinkedIn based. So pretty cool. The whole thing's going to fit together. Mario, how's it? I see you've also jumped on. To be honest, I'm only really expecting another couple. So let's just give it another second or two, and then we shall jump on live. So give me a moment. I'm going to sort of rearrange the desktop on my side of the world. And then I'm going to start my slideshow, and let's have a go at sharing a screen, all things being equal. Just let me know in the chat box, as we normally do, whether you guys can actually see my screen, just to make sure. This thing is doing a whole rendition and nobody's actually able to see anything, so I'm explaining things and nobody's knowing what's going on. Okay, everybody says yes. Awesome, guys. Thanks, Colin, Nadina, Mama. Thanks, guys. Much appreciated. I think, let me jump into it, because it's going to take me a while to get into the content, so if the other guys are going to join, they'll join in a couple of minutes. So really, this is week 4. Week 4 of 5, it might be week 4 of 6, because I've still got to give you guys that last bonus, which will probably fit in literally in week 6, which is going to show you how to actually close people once you actually start speaking to them. So how do you actually sort of take them along the process a little bit and get them to actually sign up as clients. Because remember, this is a colder process. It's not absolutely cold, but it's a colder process, so it just makes life a little bit easier if you do actually have a system that you can use to actually close people. So without any further ado, I've just plugged in my headset, which I thought was plugged in. Clearly it wasn't. Hopefully you guys can hear now. Wait. So Colin says, while we're waiting, can we use these presentations for CPD? Yeah, you absolutely can. I'll give you guys a proper certificate afterwards. You absolutely can use these for CPD. As you know, within the powers that we determine what the CPD categories are, I think there is another category that it generally tends to fall into practice management, into that category, and obviously there's a certain amount of hours. I'm pretty sure by the time you've gone through this, you'll have all the hours that you'll need for that particular category. So absolutely, I will give you guys CPD certificates. So let me actually jump in then to this particular presentation today. So it's all about that lead generation funnel, and this is about list creation amongst other things, and also a little bit about email marketing, so that I can help you to take your first level connections to the next level. So let me show you how all of that fits together. Just very quickly, let's just do a quick recap of where we were, or where we are, I should say. So in the first week, we spoke all about who that ideal client was, and we put a lot of focus in determining a niche, particularly one that we could find on LinkedIn, and then we spent a little bit of time going through the problem areas and the client criticals, and we came up with a couple of messages that we can use to position ourselves. So problems that we can solve, where we can be the best in the world literally at solving those problems for our clients. And then we took that information and we built up a very, very strong and compelling LinkedIn profile. Once we had that, then we turned our attention to that niche that we had chosen, and we found out how to really laser target and use those filters on LinkedIn to find the people that we really want to speak to. And then after we had done that, we went ahead and we started to reach out And we started the process firstly of connecting, which obviously starts on LinkedIn, and then once people agree to connect with us, then we have to start the nurturing and the follow-up process. And we did that in two ways. The one was on LinkedIn, and then concurrently we used email. And today is kind of just the next step and the next evolution really in that email piece. And then next week, as you'll see, I'm going to do all of the automation stuff. So I'll take email to another level yet. And I will also show you how to scale a lot of the outreach. The reason that I kind of switched actually last week and this week around was they made some changes to the tool that I want to show you. It's a really awesome tool. I'm testing some stuff, and I thought, let me just test it myself before I go and push it out to you guys. So next week I'll show you all of that. Plus I'll show you the email automation, which will actually be a very logical follow-up to today, because I'm going to show you the platform that we use and everything that goes with it. So today is a very, very practical day. It's going to be very little theory. I'm going to literally be showing you a whole lot of stuff, and also the way that I deliver the info to you is a little bit more integrated than usual. It's really awesome. Literally, you're going to be able to import everything that I give you into your own accounts, and it's going to be very easy for you to implement. So you'll have all of the templates and things right there. It's just really a case of you copying and pasting and changing out my information for yours. And not only that, but I'm actually going to give you my exact funnel. So you're getting everything that I use. It's the working funnel that I use. You can literally just emulate that and make it your own. So if you remember, when we spoke before, we had the dual process of basically reaching out, and we had essentially the LinkedIn welcome message. So we've got the LinkedIn welcome message, and we did exactly the same with email. So just to sort of remind you what that was all about, remember we had connected, and the minute somebody had connected with us, we sent out a message and we said to them, hi, first name, hope everything's going great, and then we said, quick question. So if I could give you a minimum of 3 to 5 qualified exclusive accounting leads every week, would you be interested? And of course, that was one of our magic messages. You will obviously use your magic message, whatever that happens to be. And then here was the key thing. I said, message me if you're interested, and I'll ping you the details. And then if you remember, we said at the bottom there, by the way, I hope you don't mind, but I've sent you an email, as I know a lot of people don't check their messages on LinkedIn. And then just for completeness, we did exactly the same thing, right? We sent out the welcome email, which we said, thanks for connecting. We said, hi, first name. We just connected on LinkedIn, appreciate it. The reason I emailed you is because many people rarely check LinkedIn, and I'd like to ask you if you have capacity for more accounting clients. If you could generate a minimum of 3 to 5 qualified exclusive accounting client leads every week for a small fee, would you be interested? Message me if you are, and I'll ping you the details. Now, if you remember, this message sequence was really intended to get people to start to talk to us. And the next question is, okay, well, what happens if they say yes? And we said that we had a number of options. And this was the template that I had given you last week also for you to use to actually follow up. Now, this is an email template fundamentally, and I guess it's pertinent because today really what we're going to do is we're looking at a funnel which is email driven. It's not LinkedIn driven per se, not in the sense that I've shown you now, but I'm going to show you how we actually link the two, and you'll see why this is such a beautiful funnel, linking in perfectly with what it is that we do in LinkedIn. And actually this is really almost your next step. So once we've kind of exhausted the process that I showed you last week, you don't want to just stop things. You want the nurturing and the communication to go on, and this is a very, very logical next step in that process and how to actually go ahead and to do it. So here was a template of something that we could say once they said yes, send us more information. So I said there, thanks for your quick reply. What I offer is this. If you want to generate more and then of your desired outcomes, so obviously in my case it's more clients on a consistent and cost-effective way, I can definitely help. There are a lot of people actively looking for your service in your area. I can connect you with them. Now, obviously, that's something that I would say, not something that you have to say. And if you're not comfortable with that, you could actually literally leave that piece out. You don't really need that piece in the email. But here's now the next step, because the question is, all right, how do you actually live up to that promise? When you say, well, I'll ping you the details, what does I'll ping you the details mean? So if you remember, fundamentally, the thing that we want most, and even in the little funnel that I'm going to show you today, the end result of that is a face-to-face consultation. Okay, that is the most important thing, because I have full faith in all of you guys that the moment you get that face-to-face consultation, and you just do a consultation like you do every single day in your business, you will essentially be able to close those prospects into new clients. So I don't know if any of you guys actually went through to have a look at the link that I showed you there last week, but you've got the link. It's a working link, so you can actually go and have a look at it. And that is where, in this particular instance anyway, what we were doing is we were offering a done-for-you service. So very much the stuff that I'm teaching you on this course, we were saying to people, well, we'll do it for you for a fee. Obviously, you guys can do it for a lot less, and you can do it yourself. That's why you guys are on this course. But there's some people that would actually just prefer us to do that. Now, this is just one example, right? We have other products and services that we sell, and if we create these sorts of funnels and we reach out, we would then obviously be sending them elsewhere. But the whole point here is that different people need different information from you before they're going to be happy to connect, right? So, or not connect because they've already connected. What I mean, but I meant to say is before they're actually going to be in a position to buy from you. So ultimately, we want to get them onto our calendar. But if you think about it, it's quite a big thing for somebody to jump straight onto your calendar. So as we go through this process, we've sent a couple of emails. They get an email that's saying, hey, if you want to connect, jump onto my calendar. Now, this process that I'm showing you is designed for what I call the low-hanging fruit. So there are definitely going to be people that are going to want to jump onto the calendar with you, and those are super qualified people. So those guys that jump on, you've got a very, very good chance of actually converting them into clients. But a number of other people, that they're just humans, right? And we just need a little bit more time, because it's one of the questions they're still asking themselves as well, who are you? So sometimes we need a little bit of extra time to warm them up, and there's a number of ways obviously that we can warm them up. So the one that I liked is I just created a little video, and I had a little bit of essentially a sales page. I took that URL over there, did a video showing them exactly what was going to happen, and giving them a bit of a rundown with some screenshots saying, hey, if you want it, this is basically what I can actually do for you. So that's one approach, and it's an approach that I really like. But another approach is you might just send them something. So typically, before you went on this course with me, you might have sent them a brochure or a one-page. Oh, this is what we do. Now, like that stuff for most accountants, I hate to tell you this, sucks horribly. Okay, there's no real marketing in that. I want you guys to be a little bit more dynamic, and today I'm going to show you how to make that a little bit more dynamic. So in the funnel that I'm going to show you, although I'm showing you a whole funnel, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what we call a lead magnet. And that is just a sort of a precursor, really, to being able to answer this question. So it's giving them a little bit more information about what you do, and then giving them a chance to reach out. So instead of saying to them, hey, get on my calendar right away, what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, here's something for you in the meantime, just to check things out. So if you've got any questions, go here. And then when they get to the end of that, then we're going to have another go at saying, hey, get onto the calendar. So we always try, hey, get on the calendar, but we know that most people won't initially, and therefore we give them a little bit more. And that's really what I'm going to show you today. So this is how what I'm showing you today links in to what we spoke about last week. Hopefully that's going to make sense. If it doesn't, it probably will as we actually go through the funnel itself. So this is what the actual funnel looks like. Now, what I'm going to do with this is obviously I'm going to walk you through this in great detail. It's got a number of components to it, and I'm literally going to give this thing to you, which is my funnel. I'm going to show you exactly all of the email copy, all of the templates. I'm just going to give them to you. You just basically override mine and create yours. I'm also going to give you the exact funnel. So I'm going to show you a little bit later on the platform that we actually use, and it's a fabulous platform because what it allows me to do is to take a funnel that's already working, literally with a click of a button, push it through to you. You create yourself an account on the platform, and I'm going to give you a link for you to do that at the end of the webinar. I don't want to do it now because I want you to concentrate. I don't want you guys getting confused and playing around with other stuff. Next week we'll do some Q&A, and of course remember, you guys always have that opportunity during the week. If you need to reach out to me for anything, please do that, and obviously I'll get on the phone or get on Skype with you so that we can sort out any issues that you have. So there's no reason for you to be stuck in it. So we'll handle all of the technical stuff and the automation next week, but at the end of today I'm going to show you how to get hold of all of this stuff. So I'm going to walk you through this in detail in a minute. So if we look at it, this funnel actually has 4 different components that I'm going to talk to you about today. The first one is the funnel itself, and here what I'm really talking about is the pages. So it's the layout of the funnel and the sequence and what actually happens really what I want to do is I need to explain the purpose of that funnel and the structure to you. So that's what that's all about. And we'll look at the pages, and we'll look at how we write the copy and everything. So it's really it's the complete funnel. You get absolutely everything. You just copy and paste. That's all I need you to do at the end. So probably what you're going to want to do is watch this particular training over and over again. You might want to watch it a couple of times, so when you're actually implementing your own, just watch the training so that you can actually pick up the nuances, because this is where I'm going to do all the explanation. Then the next thing is that lead magnet creation. So when you said if you would like whatever, ping me and I'll send you the details, well, this could be an example of how you would send them the details. Or as you're going to see now, we can use this as a lead generation mechanism. We call it an ethical bribe, which is fabulous when I talk to accountants. I love talking about ethical bribes because it does raise an eyebrow at first, but that's actually a technical term. In the marketing space, we call that a lead magnet, an ethical bribe, a free gift. In other words, something of great value that we put out there in order to get an email address. So I'm going to show you a really, really nice way to create this so that works particularly well. And again, I'm giving you my exact sequence, so you're going to have absolutely everything of mine. You can just literally copy it and paste it. It's couldn't be easier. Then I'm going to give you the email follow-up sequence. So this email follow-up sequence is once the funnel actually starts. This is where we do a little bit of the automation. So the emails will really start to shoot out, and automatically they'll go through to everybody. So you'll see how that works, and it's great because we set something up and we don't have to really touch it. I think I've given you a 14-day sequence. It's actually a 12-day sequence. I like to call it a 14-day sequence, and you'll see how it works, and I'm going to show you the structure behind it and the thinking and why it's actually so effective. So in this whole sequence, we're not really trying to sell anything. This whole sequence is designed firstly to get an email address and really to start engagement with people, and ultimately to get them onto your calendar. And it's done in a very, very low, non-threatening way as we look at it. And then I do have it's kind of crazy. It's like a bonus on a bonus, right? Where I'm going to show you a piece where I've actually written a cold email outreach sequence. I'll talk to you a little bit about that. There's a little bit more to this, so if you want to automate it, that's a whole new story. But you can certainly use the templates that I'm going to give you to reach out to people if you wanted to do that from a colder email perspective, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little while. So let's jump into everything. Let's start off with point number one, which is really the layout and the structure and the purpose of the funnel. So if we look at it, what I mean by that is you can see that I've got 3 pages and then the deliverable. In other words, that thing that we call the lead magnet, or the ethical bribe, or the free gift, and so we're going to talk about that in the next piece. So as you can see over here, there are 3 pages, and the pages go in a particular sequence. Now, when one actually talks about a sales funnel, a sales funnel is really just a website on steroids. So when somebody goes to a website, they have complete autonomy as to what they want to do. So if you think about it, when you go to a website, any website, doesn't matter, you can click on any of the links on the website, you can go to the menus, you can go backspace, you can leave, you can come back later, you can close it, whatever it is that you want to do, you've got total autonomy. When we create a funnel of sorts, now this is just a lead generation funnel, so it stops at the point of generating you the lead, but in other funnels we can actually go on, and we could actually get to the point where the sales funnel itself actually sells a product or service. Okay, that's the next level up in the sequence. But for now, remember, we're trying to get you leads that you can go ahead and convert into paying clients. So ultimately I need these leads to sit face to face with you in a consultation. Excuse me. So I'm going to show you the various pages and how we do that. Now what I'm going to do is I need to just exit out. Actually, maybe I don't need to exit out of this. I'm going to show you my Funnelytics account. Can I just double check with you guys? Wouldn't you just let me know? Can you see my web page? Has my account changed so that it looks like the same funnel that I was showing you earlier? Can you just let me know if you can see the web page? Because it's kind of important, because here, this is where everything gets practical from business. Okay, cool. Thank you for listening. Much appreciated, and welcome. Glad to have you on board. Okay, so now this here is really the whole funnel layout. So whenever one sits down and creates a funnel, it's always a very, very good idea to create some sort of visual representation. Otherwise, you can actually get yourself very, very lost. And literally what I'm going to do at the end of this, I'm going to push exactly what I'm showing you, and I'm giving you absolutely everything. I'm just going to push it as it is from my account to yours. So I'm going to show you how to set up your own account, and then how to actually upload what I'm going to show you. So for now, just sit back and watch this, and you'll see how it works later on. So the very first thing that I want to show you is this. When we go into the lead magnet opt-in, this is the page. This is what we call a Funnelytics account. So I'm not sure if you can actually see this, it's probably quite small, but it says app.funnelytics.io. So this is just the app that I use in order to sketch out the funnels, and this is what I'm going to push to you. So later on, I'm going to show you how to create your own account, and then how to literally upload this particular funnel. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually showing it to you in the app, and you'll have obviously access to this. So the way that these things work, if you click on any of these, you'll see at the bottom here the two things that are important here. There's a little cog over here, and then there's this little notes page. So if I click on the cog, what you'll notice is that there's a URL. Okay, now this URL is really where I want to take you. So if I click on this URL and I open this URL, let me actually just close all this other stuff so I don't confuse you. If we open the URL, what it's done is it's taken you to the page in my funnel where this is. So this is actually the first page in the funnel. Now when I push the funnel to you, you will have this. It'll be in your own back office. You'll be able to go in and literally it's click and paste, right? And I'm going to show you that either today or next week when I show you the automation. Literally, you go into the back end of the funnel and click, click, click. It's like a WYSIWYG editor, and you go and you change everything. So now, let me explain to you what is actually happening here. In fact, before I do that, let me just give you the kind of the overall of the funnel. So the whole idea here is that we give away something for free. This is this lead magnet opt-in page. People then hopefully look at that free thing and they say, well, I really need that. I'm going to give you my contact details. Once they give us the contact details, then we take them to what we call a thank you page. So we've promised them something. They opt in. Now the whole idea with this opt-in page is that we will need to get the email address. But once they've opted in, now we have to honor our obligation and we need to give them the thing. So we take them to this page, which we call a thank you page, and that's where we give them the thing. Right? I'm going to show you that in a minute. Then at the same time, as all of this is going on, because this is a funnel, because it's automated, this first email goes out, this email over here. And really what this email says is, here is the download link in a nutshell. And also what it does is it gives a little bit of introduction as to who you are. So again, just think about, let's go back to LinkedIn. We're talking about LinkedIn as being the biggest business network in the world. This is exactly the same sort of thing. It's normal relationship practices that are in play here. It's like, hey, I've just met you. Hey, welcome. My name's James. What's your name? You tell me. So what do you do? Oh, this is what I do. That's literally all this email is. Okay, it's, hey, pleased to meet you. This is what I do. Let's keep in touch, kind of thing. And of course, it's giving them the download link. And the reason that we do that is that if they've given us an incorrect email address over here when they opt in, okay, they don't deserve to get the free thing that we've promised them. Clearly, because they're going to mess up our email delivery system. It's a bit of a mess, and we can't actually talk to them and communicate with them, and we have no chance of actually signing them up as a client. So if you actually have such a problem giving me your email address, then you're not going to be a client of mine, and there's really no point in either of us speaking. So sometimes that happens, or maybe what happens is they type in an incorrect address, so they don't have bad intentions, it just happens. Then they can't actually go ahead and get the free thing. Then they've actually got to go back here and type in the correct email address. Okay, so that's why we don't just give it to them, and you'll see on the thank you page when I show you that why that is so. We then send them the email says, hey, go download your thing. Then they click on that link to go to the download, and they go to this page over here, and this is where we actually give them the thing, and the thing is this, in this case it's going to be a report, and I'm going to talk to you about that in the next piece. So that's the big picture overview, right? And then there's this follow-up sequence over here goes on for 12 days. So the numbers in brackets are the days. So day 0 means immediately. So when they opt in here, immediately they get this. Then the next day, day 1, they get this. Then 3 days later, they get this. Another in day 6, which is, I would say, another 3 days later, they get this. Day 9 and day 12. Okay, that's really what is going to happen with these emails, and obviously I'll discuss that with you in the section when I talk about the email. So that's the broad overview. So let's get into showing you this. So if you remember, we clicked on this. I clicked on the cog, and I just here's the URL that I've created for you, and we clicked on it and it went here. So just get rid of that for a second. So this is what it looks like. You can see that I've branded this page, but when I say I've branded, I've just branded it with a logo. Now, the thing to notice with these squeeze pages, the only job that this squeeze page is intended to do is to get an email address. Okay, that's the only thing that I want to do. So when you come to this page, you only have two choices. You can either give me your email address or you can leave, because there's nothing else that you can do. So you'll see here, nowhere on this page are there links so that you can go to the rest of my site. There's no privacy policies on here. There's none of that stuff. There could be, and in certain circumstances maybe there should be, but for this particular purpose I've elected not to put it on here because I don't want people to get distracted. Okay, there's only one thing I want you to do here, and that's to get into this funnel so that you can get to the end. So I was explaining to you a little bit earlier about a website where you have total autonomy. In a sales funnel scenario, you don't have that autonomy at all. What happens is we set up the journey for our prospects, and the reason we set that journey up is when we take them through that journey, it gives us the best probability or the best chance of actually converting them into a paying client. So the journey is still good for them, make no mistake, okay? It's just that if we can take them through that journey, by the time they get to the end of that journey, they should know without a doubt that they really need what it is we're selling, and they've got to buy it from us. And so they have to go through this journey. There's no other option. So if we go back to our overall scenario here, once they've opted into the lead magnet, you'll see they automatically go here, right? Then if they want to proceed, they've got to get their email, and then once they got the email, then they click here, and then obviously they can download their free report. And if they still haven't done what we want, then we send them the sequence here. So this is going to happen whether they like it or not. So they have the choice. You either jump in and go through, or you don't jump in at all, and nobody's wasting anybody else's time. So of course when you jump in, you can jump out at any stage, but that's the only other choice you have. Otherwise you have to go all the way through the funnel. So this is our first attempt. So what I'm doing here, the very first thing that you're going to see here is I call out to my target market. Okay, so this really is a template. Literally just copy this template. There's nothing. This template works. I use it. A lot of my online marketing colleagues use it. It's a great template, and it's very, very simple, right? So we call out to our target market. So in my case, I'm talking to progressive accountants, auditors, bookkeepers, tax practitioners, and financial advisors. Now, notice here, I put this word progressive in, and there's a good reason that I do that. Firstly, it's all about people that are in the sort of mind space that they are actually happy to get involved in technology. Now, I assure you, accountants don't wake up in the morning thinking, whoopee-doo, I get to learn new technology. I cannot wait to go and learn how sales funnels works and all these other wonderful things and how to get clients on LinkedIn. I would just love to do that. No, that's not what they think, right? And most accountants will not do that. But there are a few accountants, mainly the ones on this webinar, that say, you know what, I might not be thrilled to do it. And some of you might, by the way, so that you're a different animal, you're a little bit more akin to me. But even those of you that are not waking up and like dying to do this, what you are doing is you're saying, you know what, I see that the world has changed, I understand that, and you know what, I've got to change with it. So while I'm a little out of my comfort zone and I'm not like thrilled to death to do this, I know I need to do it, so I'm going to give it my all. Okay, you have to have a progressive mindset in order to do that. And so when I call out to progressive accountants, I'm giving it a positive label. And also what it is doing is it's playing to people's ego, but there's really more to it than that, because in my world I really do need people that are progressive, because there's just no way I can sell any of my stuff that I do, or even teach any of the stuff that I do, to accountants that are not open-minded. Okay, so very, very important. First, give your target market, your niche that you've chosen, give them a positive stance, a positive title, because it also, what it does is it creates a bit of an us versus them. So they're now part of a community, and people love to be part of a community. So in this case, it's very, very true. I want progressive people, and you know what? We don't want to talk to the people that are not progressive. It's actually very, very simple. And then obviously in my case, I've called out, excuse me, to my target market, which is really financial professionals. So it's accountants, auditors, bookkeepers, tax practitioners, and financial advisors. So if you are a lawyer or a plumber or an author and you come to this page, there's nothing for you here. Go away. Okay, that's pretty much all that is saying. So we're not wasting anybody's time. So that's the first thing. Then we have the big old headline. Now, a headline you'll see in most situations, whether it's a sales letter or a squeeze page, or even when you go into somebody's blog, the headline is always in bigger font, and what it's doing is it's trying to hook people in. So this is like, well, why should you actually read this, and why should you continue with the rest of it? And so in this case, what I'm saying is a free 3-step system that you can realistically implement in the next 60 minutes to generate new clients every month forever. So remember, in my case, when I went back and I remember I did all the work, and I realized that this was the biggest client critical. So what am I doing here? I'm creating a really, really simple system for people. It's an irresistible offer. It really does work. It does what it says on the tin, by the way, and you'll see that in a minute when I actually show it to you. And so there's a very good chance that people will say, you know what, yeah, I want that thing. I'm actually going to go ahead and let me give them my name and email address. Now, I want you to understand something in this process when you are trying to get somebody's email address. Think for yourself just for a minute, right? There are a lot of times when we are surfing the web and there's some cool thing that we want, and somebody says, oh, if you give me your name and email address, I will give you this cool thing. Okay, now I just want you to think for yourself. Do you, and that's obviously a rhetorical question for right now, do you automatically go ahead and give people your email address? Okay, and the answer to that, if you're most people, is absolutely freaking not. Okay, there's got to be a darn good reason why I'm going to give you my email address. So you better give me something that is so compelling, because there's this little devil that sits on somebody's shoulder and says, who is this person? He says, what do they want? What are they going to try and sell you? Like, are they going to spam you to death? Like, are they going to waste your time? So this is what you're up against. You're up against this little imaginary devil sitting on the shoulder, and you have to give them something that is so freaking spectacular, okay, that they will give you their name and their email address. And that's why when we went through those issues before, we found a problem, right? Because we said if we can solve a problem for somebody, then it's irresistible. There's just no way that they should be able to ignore that, because if they have the problem, we've done the work, we know what the problem is, we create something that can solve the problem, we're not selling anything, they are buying because they want what we have. And that's really all that we've done here. Okay, so that is what all of this is about in our headline. Then the next thing is I have an image here. Now, if you have a look at this image, I'm not sure how big it's going to be on your screen currently, but the reality is I've kind of blocked a couple of things out, so you actually don't know what this is. So you can see it's a bit of a process, and I've told you, yeah, it's a 3-step system, right? So you know it's a system, but you don't know what the system is, because there's some cool graphics, and even here, I've left some of the words out, so you don't actually know what it is, but you know it's a system, and there's something visual there. And the reason I've done that is because it's very, very intriguing. People look at it, it's pretty simple, right? So it's a one-pager, it's got like 4 little things, a couple of arrows. It's like, how hard can they be? But now what happens with most people is that we have to close the loop as humans, which means, like, if stuff is left open, it drives us crazy. Okay, like the human mind needs to close things. So it's like, okay, so what is that now? Okay, I need to know, and that's going to be one of the most compelling reasons also why they're actually going to go ahead and they're going to give you their name and email, and they're going to actually opt in. Okay, so that's what that's all about. Even if you didn't do that, what you want to do is you want to have some sort of image so that it can sort of bring to life the thing that you're giving them. Because in most cases, what we're doing here is it's going to be some sort of digital delivery, right? And again, you'll see that when in the next section when I show you how to build out the lead magnet. But it's going to be something that they can download, because this whole thing has to be easy, and it's probably going to be information based. And so they have to actually be able to go ahead and to download it. So they don't know what it is. So in order for them to download it, what we try to do is we try to give them some sort of visual representation, just so that the mind can sort of look forward and get their heads around what it is and say, okay, that's pretty cool, yeah, I want that. So it just it brings it to life a little bit, so it makes the intangible tangible. Okay, that's why we love to have an image. Then you'll see here I've got a couple of bullet points. Now you'll see when we put bullet points, we generally put an odd number. So in this case I've got 3, which is kind of perfect, right, because of the layout. Generally you'd have 3 or 5. Don't ask me why, but it's been proven time and time again that odd numbers outpull even numbers. What you would also typically want to do is you would have your first and last bullets as your strongest bullets. So if you had 5 or 7 or more, your first and your last would be your most powerful. So really, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get them to give me the opt-in. So I don't just go ahead and assume, oh, I've solved the biggest problem, they're going to want this. No, I'm still selling it like my life depends on it, even though I'm giving it away free. And in fact, the way that you should think about this when you actually create your opt-in is give them something of such great value that they'd be prepared to pay for it. Okay, but still, I'm trying to get rid of that little devil on the shoulder, and so I'm definitely going ahead and I'm selling this. So you'll see I write a couple of benefit bullets. So this is what they're going to get out of it if they download it. So they're going to get how to leverage the internet to systematically attract only your ideal clients who pay premium fees with a smile into your practice every month without fail. Now, I know that is very, very compelling to people. The next thing is how to set up the simple three-step system to run on autopilot so that you can spend time on your business rather than trying old, ineffective, offline client generation methods that don't work effectively anymore. Now, I know that this is a problem because I know my market. I speak to them all the time. This is such an issue that people love this. And then the last one is how to compile an email list of ultra-targeted prospects and the exact email wording sent out to prospects to get them to automatically book a consultation with you directly onto your calendar. Okay, so as you can see, a very, very compelling scenario. Then remember we spoke a lot last week. In fact, we've probably done it every single week, and I've hammered this thing that we call the call to action, the CTA. So the CTA is this button over here, and you can see as I hover over it, it changes color. So it's a little bit of action on the page because people are hovering with their mouse automatically. Oh, look, okay, there's something there. So it just draws the eye to that, and it gives you another opportunity to get the click. And I'm giving them an instruction. Remember, call to action is tell them exactly what you want them to do. Okay. Please don't forget that you have to do that every time. Get instant access. So if I really wanted to be pedantic, I could have said, click here to get instant access. Okay. Most people by now understand that. And then you probably can't see this, but I've just got a little piece at the bottom here that says, we hate spam. Your email is safe with us, which it will be. We don't sell email addresses and things, and I'd suggest you don't do that either. Somebody's actually opted in confidence. They've given you permission to really mail them until they decide that they're going to withdraw that permission, which they'll do simply by unsubscribing from your list. So it's all above board, and it's always nice just to let people know that the email is safe. So that is really the first part of the system. That's what it looks like. Now, this is what we call a two-step opt-in page. So when somebody comes to get the free thing, if you already have the box showing where you're saying to them, oh, give us your name and email, what's going to happen is there are going to be a number of people that are not going to be that keen. But if we don't let them know, and they have to click on it, and when they click on it, then what happens is we call this a pop-up, pops up, and now we ask for the name and email address. We have a much better chance of actually getting more people to opt in. And this has been proven again countless times across many niches, that in most instances a two-step is better than a one-step. And I think the reason for that is that people, when they tend to start something and they give you a micro commitment, they like to finish things. It's that same concept of closing the loop again. When they started, so they said, oh yeah, all right, I've started, okay, let me go ahead and just finish this process so I can get the thing. And you can see here everything is congruent, right? So they opted in, and all I'm saying here is I say, hey, tell us where to send your regular client generation system. Here again, here's instruction or call to action. Simply fill in the details below and we'll send you the download link via email. And that's all they're going to do. They're going to put in name and email, and they're going to click get instant access. Here's something that I did at the bottom here, just by the way. You can choose to do this or not. I say important note. I say to make sure that you get your client generation system that will help you to get a minimum of 2 new clients a month. I suggest you do not use an online email like Gmail, Yahoo, or Hotmail, as they often put these messages into spam or they don't deliver them. Try to use a business address or an email address that you check daily. So this is one of the biggest hassles, obviously, with email, is the deliverability, particularly if it's new. And when I say it's new, when our email address is new, or the email address that we're starting to mail from is new. And as you start to get a bigger list, what's going to happen is that you have the ability to email that entire list with one click of a button. So if you've got 100 people or 1,000 people or 5,000 people on your list, literally by clicking one button, you can mail 5,000 people at one time. So what then tends to happen is, because of all of the spam and all the nonsense that's gone on before this, what has to happen is that the email service providers, the Hotmails, the Gmails, the Yahoos, the MWebs, the whatever it is that you're using, they have to put these anti-spam measures in place. And many times they make decisions or they make assumptions on our behalf that are not always true. So they'll create these algorithms and they'll base it on what they've seen before. So maybe you send out an email that's a very legitimate email, and then you get Gmail picks it up, or Hotmail, and says, you know what, I'm not sure about this. So the worst case scenario is that they won't even deliver it for you. So it goes nowhere. They just block it. End of story. That is the worst thing that can happen. The next worst thing that can happen is they'll deliver it, but they put it into spam, or Gmail has this promotions tab, as you probably know by now, and a lot of people don't always go ahead and check that. So what I find with this is, if people have a work email address, so like mine is james@regularclients.com. If I'm using that, that's going to get delivered, because that's an address I use every single day, and I know that that's an address. If email goes through, it's probably going to get delivered. Gmail is sometimes it gets delivered, sometimes not. Gmail's got a whole lot better now, because most people have got Gmail accounts. Yes, like do I hate the Yahoos and the Hotmails and the everything else, because they are so full of crap, and many times the delivery doesn't go through. So I'm just trying to get people to give me the best chance of me being able to deliver. So I just say, hey, important note, please don't do it, because there is a chance it's going to go into spam, and you're not going to get it, which is 100% true. So I don't really know how many people I actually convert when I do this, but it's definitely worth a shot. So technically you could take that or leave that, but that's why I've put that piece in there. Okay, so that's the process. And once they've done that, if we go back to our trusty diagram, remember now they've opted in, they've gone onto our email list. So two things happen. The first is, remember, this email goes off. We'll talk about that in the email section. The second thing, of course, now is that they go to the thank you page. So if you remember, if we click the cog and we go ahead and we open that, you will see the page that it's going to take you to. So once we opt in here, then automatically, because of the funnel and because of the platform that we're going to use, the way that it actually works is automatically you end up on this page. That's just how the thing works. It's absolutely brilliant, and all the automation goes on in the background. So let's talk about this page and what has actually happened here. Now, anytime that you have a situation where you need to communicate the same sort of message with people over an extended period of time, you don't want there to be any lull or any opportunity for there to be a break in that communication where they don't know what's going on. So in this case, there's a very good chance that for some people, like, they're going to opt in, they're not going to get it now. They might come back to the email a little bit later on this evening, or maybe they step away from their computer and they come back later. And if they don't know why they're on a particular page, they received an email, it can be very confusing. So it's really good structure and really good policy when you are creating funnels to always reference the last thing that people remember with you. Okay, just remember that as a principle. It's a fabulous principle, because people never ever forget. So it's just kind of like you're reminding them who the heck you are. You know, you phone someone up a week later and say, hey, this is James Malvita speaking, and they say, huh? Then you got to go back and say, remember a week ago I saw you know, at the CYPA LinkedIn conference. Oh right, okay, now I remember. Okay, so that's all we're doing is let's not put them in a space where they're confused. Just let them know exactly what's going on. So the way that we do that, you'll see I say congratulations and thank you for requesting your special report called the 3-step system success for the accountants used to get new clients in every month. Now, of course, that's the report that they requested. Now, just have a look at how I started. I say congratulations and thank you. Now there's a very important reason for doing that, and it's not just to make people feel good. You know, the reality is that as we do this and as we reach out to people, you know, I run free webinars every single week for people, and I'll tell you now that the average show up rate is between 20 and 30%. Okay, so I give 90 minutes of my time every week to people to teach them stuff, and 20% of them actually take advantage of that. Some of the others will take advantage over time, and that's one of the reasons that we follow up. But it just goes to show that not everybody actually takes action, and then even fewer of those people that actually get onto it will actually do what I teach them. And it's so frustrating for me, because I know that everything works, but it's not up to me, it's up to them. So when I say to people congratulations and thank you, it's a very, very sincere compliment that I'm giving people. And I want people to know that I do really appreciate the fact that they've actually gone ahead and they've actually done something. So for me, that's very important, and I think it's a very nice way to welcome people. So again, remember, it's just social rules of engagement. Somebody does something for you, and they have done something for you. They've given you their email address, and they've potentially given you their time. It's just common courtesy to say thank you. And in this case, as I say, I like to say congratulations as well, because I know that if you have done this, there's a good chance that you are one of those progressive accountants that I'm speaking about, and that you will actually take some action. Then what you're going to see here, this message over here, and you can see I've even highlighted it in yellow. So yellow has been a color that I don't use generally. You'll see most of my colors are sort of the blue and the white, and then for buttons where I want you to do stuff, it's red. So I needed another color to stand out, and it says here, your download link has been emailed to you and should arrive in about 5 minutes while you wait. Please follow these 3 steps below to get the most out of your new client acquisition system. So there's lots going on here. Okay, let's talk about the lots going on here. So the first thing, remember I did say to you, I don't want them to be able to actually download the report here, because if they can, maybe over here when they opted in, for the first time they gave me an incorrect email address. So listen, if you're not playing the game, neither am I. So this is just saying, hey, I've emailed it to you. So they need to know that I've emailed to them, because remember, they're on this page, they're expecting to get it, because I've just told them I'm giving it to them. They're here, they're saying, okay, where is it? Well, I'm not giving it to you quite yet, but here's how to get it. So I'm telling them that. And I say, and should arrive in about 5 minutes. Now, this isn't really technically true, because it's actually going to go virtually instantaneously. But what I am doing is I'm buying myself enough time to get them to watch this video. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a second. So here's what I say. So I say, while you wait, please follow the 3 steps below to get the most out of your new client acquisition system. So I got stuff I need them to do, and so I say, please follow the 3 steps. So they know there's more than one step. And on this particular screen that I'm showing you now, this is quite a big screen. On other screens, what'll typically happen is that it'll actually get cut off, and step 3 will actually, you'll have to scroll down the page to see it. And so I need them to know that they've got to scroll, because there's more than one step. But anytime you need them to do more than one thing, let them know. Okay, and I'm giving them a reason. So one of the most important principles in marketing is just give people a reason why. People will do the most amazing things, and your reason doesn't even have to be good most times. But if you don't give a reason, then people don't do it. If you give a reason, they say, oh, okay, obviously that's why they do it. But the reason is a positive reason for them. It's to get the most out of the new client acquisition system. And by the way, this is quite true. So that is the setup, and that's what this piece is all about. So a lot going on there, but very, very important. Okay, don't mess this up. It's very important with the continuity of a funnel. Here we go, call to action. Here's what to do next. Where have we seen that before, right? So I'm not leaving this up to anybody's imagination. I'm right out there. I'm telling them this is what you must do. Step 1, watch this 8-minute video to learn how to implement the powerful 3-step system into your business today. So what I've done here is, whenever you give away something free, what I find is that it doesn't have a lot of value for a lot of people. So this is my attempt to take that report that I've given them away for free and to take it up to the next level. So what I'm going to do in this video, and of course you've got all these links, right? So what I suggest is go and watch this video, because you're going to emulate this a little bit later on. But I'm actually going to give this to you so that you can see exactly how to do this. But the reason that I want them to watch this video is because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to talk them through the system that I've just given them. So instead of just saying, oh, here's like a 3-page system, I say, look, here's the system, and here's what happens. And you can see, if I just click on this, I won't let it play. I'll stop it, because otherwise it'll be a bit noisy. But you can see that's an 8-minute video. So it's taken me 8 minutes to do a few things. Okay, the first thing that it's done is it's allowed me to build up my credibility. So people get to hear my voice, and also as I go through and I teach them a little bit about what's in it, suddenly by the time they get to the end, I've given them a bit of teaching, they've heard me, I've got a little bit of authority, hopefully I've said something that's a bit sensible, and they say, yeah, he knows what he's talking about, and I've earned the right to ask for something, and that's what's going to happen in step 2. That's really the most important thing, is that we've earned the right to actually go ahead and to actually ask for something. So that's really what this is. It's all about building the authority and then asking them for what we want. And what we do want actually is step 2. So if you look at this, step 2 says, after watching this video, decide on one of 2 options. Now, technically, you don't need to get them to decide on 1 or 2 options. Technically, it could just be 1. And in your world, I suggest it's just 1. Okay? I have 2 because I have a lot of marketing collateral that you probably don't have. So just because I have 2 doesn't mean you need to. I have 2 because I can. Okay, you don't need to, and for you, I suggest you just have the first one. So the first option here is to jump on a quick 10-minute call with me to brainstorm how we can implement a custom version of the system for you in your practice. Now, remember, they've hopefully watched the video, so now they know what's in the system, and they have an idea of how to implement it. So now I'm saying, hey, why don't you just chat to me, and I'll help you some more. So they've actually got a really good idea now of whether they actually want to talk to me. Because I've given it value in advance, and it's been in a non-threatening way. You haven't had to speak to me to get it. You can watch the video, and now that you've watched it, now you're actually in a position to make a decision as to whether you want to chat to me. But still, if you think about it, in many cases, if somebody says talk to me, the first thing that's probably going through your mind is, okay, what is this person going to try and sell me? And you know, we all just have that natural tendency to pull away. So what I like to do is I'm trying to make this call as painless as possible. And so you'll see here in our description, we say jump onto a quick 10-minute call. Okay, so they know 10 minutes. So what's going through their mind is, 10 minutes, like, yeah, okay, probably can't sell me anything in 10 minutes. You know what, 10 minutes of my time, that's not a lot of time. Yeah, I can spend 10 minutes. And that's going to push a lot more people to make the decision to chat to you than not. So what we're doing is we're giving them expectation of what's going to happen. And then you can see there's a big red button, just in case you didn't get this. You can't actually see this because it didn't change color, but you'll see there, that's actually a hyperlink, so they can either click there or they can click the button. And when they click the button, what it's going to do is it's going to take them to a calendar. In fact, let's click the button. Let me actually show you. Remember last week, I went ahead and I actually showed you how to set up Calendly. So this is my version of Calendly. I just use another app. It costs a lot more. If you want to know about it, let me know, and I'll shoot it through to you. It's called 24 Sessions. But what 24 Sessions does is it actually allows me to embed via an iframe on my site. So you can see it took a moment to load, and that's because what it's doing is it's taking the info that's on their site and it's loading here. So now my calendar is here, and literally just like I showed you last week with Calendly, they can go ahead and they can book something on my calendar. Okay, so that's how simple this is. Now the reality is, okay, in this whole funnel, that's actually what I wanted. Okay, I wanted the email address, obviously, so that I could communicate, but this is what I want. I want you to talk to me more than anything else. That's what I want. So look at all the trouble I've gone through, right? I started off, I created the report for you. Okay, I then say opt in, you opt in. I then take you here, and now I've created a video for you talking you through the report. So now the report has value, and what's happening is I'm building up my own authority and my own credibility. And then at the end of this video, I'm saying click the button. When we get to the report, you'll see also it says, hey, click the button. So everything that I'm doing is driving people to this option of, hey, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Consultation, consultation, consultation. And you can decide if you want 10 minutes or you just want whatever it takes. I kind of like 10 minutes because in 10 minutes I can assess whether you're going to waste my time or not, and or whether I can help you. So just so you know, I don't take everybody I speak to on as clients. That's just my policy, and it's one that works particularly well. So I've got my own criteria. I teach this concept of ideal client and niching. I drink my own Kool-Aid very, very seriously in that space. So it's going to be horses for courses for you. So I like to talk to them for 10 minutes. I get a chance to see whether I can help them. If I can, then what I do is I say, okay, let's have another conversation, and then we set something up for an hour or whatever it is that I need. In my world, I generally need about an hour to talk to people. You might need something less. So that's really the process. Now, the reason here that I have the second option is that sometimes people want a little bit more information. Okay, so hey, I've given you a report, I've given you like a little video, but sometimes people are funny. It's like, still not so sure. So what I now have here is I have an automated webinar. So it's just another way for you to actually get to know a little bit about me. Guess what's going to happen at the end of this automated webinar? It's going to say, hey, get on my calendar. Okay, so everything is get on the calendar, get on the calendar, get on the calendar. All roads lead here, as we've said. And that was the whole purpose of this whole LinkedIn process. This is just a very, very nice add-on. And this is also a method or a methodology for you to take those LinkedIn email addresses and to use them. And I'll show you that in step 4 today. So all I'm saying here is, but if you would first like more information, watch yesterday's webinar where I'll show you how to automate and scale a simple system covered in the report to generate even more clients for you every month virtually on autopilot. So this is a much longer process. Yeah, they're going to have to commit, I think this was hour, 20 minutes or something. But if that's what you want, hey, knock yourself out, go there. And then just for completion, even though I let them know up at the top here in yellow, I say, check your email. This is step 3. Check your email for the link to download your report, which includes the template that you can send to your prospects as shown in the video. Okay, so we've now gone ahead and now I have covered all of the bases. So I've achieved all of my objectives, right? Let's just run through this one more time from the top so that you get it. I congratulated them and I thanked them. Okay, I then referenced the last thing that we did. Okay, they requested the report, and that's what the report was called, so they know they're in the right place. Okay, next thing I'm saying to them, hey, your download link has been emailed to you. Why? Well, because I'm not giving it to you here, and you are expecting to get your report, and I'm not giving it to you just in case you screwed me over and didn't give me an email address, and it's not fair on me, so I'm not giving you a report. So there, go back and give me the right email address, and now I'm buying some time, right? So I say, it should arrive in about 5 minutes. While you wait, so now I'm buying the time, please follow these 3 steps below, and I'm setting them up so they know there's 3 things they've got to do. And why? I give them a reason why, so you can get the most out of your new system. Then here's what to do next. The good old do not assume anything, call to action, tell them exactly what to do. Number 1, watch the video. I tell them it's 8 minutes. The reason is so they know it's short. Okay, so they'll watch it, and it's also about the powerful 3-step system. The reason for the video, when you watch it, you'll see it takes them through what goes on in the report. So I'm just explaining to them what's in the report, how it's structured, how they can actually use it in their own business. And at the end, I'm making the call to action that says, hey, get on my calendar. Here I'm giving them 2 options. The one I really want is get on my calendar. For you, I suggest you only have one. So I would actually just delete this second piece. Not really important for you. I have the second piece because I can. It's really as simple as that. And then step 3 is just to remind them, hey, don't forget, go check your email and go get the report. Why? I still want them to get the report, because at the end of the report, guess what? This clicky button here, get on my calendar, is there yet again. Okay, so everything I do is designed to get me that that consultation. So that is step 2. So let's have a look at what's happened. We opted in. That was step 1. We then went to the thank you page. This email went out automatically. I'm going to get to that in a minute when we do email. And what you're going to find on this email is that we have now the link for them to go and actually download the report, and they go to the download page, and let's have a look what the download page looks like. Okay, so now we go to the download page, and you're going to see a lot of very, very similar things that you saw before. So let's start at the top. Guess what? Congratulations and thank you. Okay, now again, you might say, well, that's repetition, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, it is, but something that often happens, right, is they opt in. Maybe they go to the thank you page, they actually watch the little video and everything, and they're quite excited, but now they're busy. Just think, this could happen to you, right? You could have done this at the office. You get busy and it's like, oh, I don't have time now. And then you get home tonight, or maybe you're in early tomorrow morning, and you check your email and you say, oh, this is cool. You click the link and now you go here. So again, I've had that delay in time, and so I just want to reference what happened before. And again, I'm still congratulating and thanking you for exactly the same reasons as we said before. So thanks for requesting the report. Here's the name of the report, so again, you know you're in the right place. You can download the report at the bottom of the page. So again, yellow. Why? Because there's stuff I need you to do before you get there. So if you want to, you still have to scroll down, and in order to scroll down, you've got to read all of the stuff, because most people don't just skip over it. Now, if you're impatient at this point, honestly, scroll down, click it. So let's actually go download the report, and it's going to download. We'll have a look at that in just a moment. So here say you can download the report at the bottom of the page, but before you do, I have a special one-time opportunity for you. Okay, and you can see here, this is supposed to be gold. Hopefully you can see that it's gold. Special one-time invitation. Would you like to join me for a free private one-on-one client generation strategy session? So guess what that is? Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. Everything that I do is to get you onto that consultation. So I'm calling it something else. I'm calling it something a little bit more sexy. This is what it actually is, by the way. So just because I'm giving it a sexy name doesn't mean that that's not what it does. It's exactly what it does. And again, I'm just trying to get you onto that consultation. So again, here's a little video. If you watch this video, it's short. It's 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Okay, and all it is doing is it's introducing people to me, telling them what I do, saying, hey, jump onto this call. Here's what to expect on the call. Okay, I can do that in 2.5 minutes. It's not a long time. And of course, at the end of the video, what does it say? Hey, click the damn button and get on the call with me. So let's have a look at the text that accompanies it. So I say, I help accountants, auditors, bookkeepers, tax practitioners, and financial advisors to get a minimum of 2 new clients into their businesses every single month. If and only if you want to grow your business, then jump onto a 10-minute call with me so I can see whether I can help you. Really as simple as that. And then of course the big red button, which you should be getting used to by now, reserve your complimentary 10-minute consultation, and obviously if they click that, they will go to the calendar as we saw before. Now what I do is I say, here's what we will brainstorm together. So in fact, what I'm doing is I'm actually putting on the page in a narrative form kind of what I do in the video, because some people will watch the video, some will read. I have to be honest with you, I'm seeing more and more people are now starting to watch video, because what's happening is people are making videos shorter and getting straight to the point. So you can see in 2.5 minutes I cover quite a lot. If you really don't feel you can spend 2.5 minutes, then you'll read this, and to be fair, you can read this in a few seconds, so you may want to do that. But what I'm always trying to do is I'm always trying to make things as easy as I possibly can, okay, for my prospects and my clients. So sometimes it's like extra work for me, but it's easier for them. So it's like, hey, watch a video. Oh, you don't want to watch a video? Let me give you an alternative. So I don't force them to do one or the other. So here's pretty much what I say. Here's what we'll brainstorm together. And here I say, the reality is I can't help everyone, and to be totally honest, I don't choose to help everyone. So that is actually me pre-qualifying. So what I'm doing is I've gone through a whole process, and a lot of what we've done up until now, when we've identified our ideal client and we've worked out on LinkedIn, for example, who that audience is and how to attract them, we know who they are. But also what I'm doing here is I'm trying to dissuade the people who are not ideal clients from talking to me, because we're just going to waste each other's time, and that's like the last place that I want to be. So I'll say here that the reality is that I can't help everyone, and to be totally honest, I don't choose to help everyone. If I feel that I cannot help you, I'll let you know and give you some advice based on the right course of action for you to take based on your current personal circumstances and where your practice is now. And I do exactly that, by the way. So very comfortable saying that. If I can help you, then we'll schedule a longer call and we'll dive deeper into how to grow your practice. So people know that this really is risk-free. It's 10 minutes. We're just going to have a chat, and if and only if I can help you, we talk again. So then already now they can, in their own minds, know I'm not telling them anything. Right, which I'm not. The only thing that I'm trying to sell ultimately is the longer call, where I get a proper chance to assess whether I can help. And then just like you would do in a consultation, because really that's actually all it is. I've just got a structure, and I'm going to teach you that structure next week. I have a structure that just helps me to get to the point and to be very succinct and to show people where the issues are, so that if they're ready to become clients, they will become clients. Your job's actually much easier than mine, so it's actually quite easy when you're actually doing those consultations. And then I say, if you know that you're ready to take your business to the next level and you're ready to take decisive action, simply click the red button below to book your 10-minute regular client generation strategy call. So again, here I'm trying to get the low-hanging fruit. So again, I'm playing to ego, and I say I'm playing to ego. We all have ego. You can call it what you like. It's not a negative thing. In my book, it's a positive thing. And in my world, people that have that positive ego, that are prepared to go do stuff, are the people I want as clients. So I am very, very, very happy to stoke that ego so that I can get those people to raise their hands so that I can deal with them. And that's all I've done. And of course, there you have the good old button again. And then here, again, you don't need this piece, and I don't suggest you have this bottom piece actually at all. I just say, if you're not quite sure whether this is right for you, for us to chat, then jump onto my regular accounting client blueprint webinar, where I'll show you how to take what you learn in the free report you requested to a totally new level by adding automation and scale to your client generation efforts. You can access the webinar here, and then I say a pro tip, you can select the option to watch yesterday's webinar now if you want to watch a webinar right away. So it's just giving them an opportunity. And you can see there's no big button, okay, because I'm kind of hiding this here. It's like there, but it's if you really, 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 really want it, and I can't get you to click the red button, then you can go there. And then I'll say, yeah, download your free report below. And you can see, because this is not a call to action per se, where I'm getting them to give me an email address, this is a different color button. And it's just, yeah, click it and download the report, which obviously we already did. So, in fact, let's open that report. We'll get to that report in just a while. Okay, so now we have it open. So now we've gone through this whole process, right? If we look at our funnel, let's just talk through this again at a high level. We got them to opt in. The whole idea, obviously, was that we get contact details. Then we promised them something for free. Then we sent them to the thank you page, where we didn't quite give them the thing just yet, but we told them that we're going to send them an email, which we then did in order to get it. But what we did there is we gave them a little video. We walked them through the thing that we gave them. So suddenly it wasn't just some little random report anymore. It was a report that they understood, because somebody who sent them the report took time to actually explain to them what was going on. And now the report is breathing. It's like a living report. You've built up a little bit of credibility, and now you've earned the right to ask for something, and the thing that we asked for is, hey, get on the calendar. Then, of course, we do send them this email, and in this email they have the link to the download page. When they do, they click the download page. There's another little video, and now we just change the offer. We just change the positioning. So it's exactly the same offer, right? The offer is, hey, get on my calendar. But now what we do is we say, oh, exclusive invitation. And we just couch it a bit differently. But the whole thing, as you can see, is get on my calendar. And then, of course, we do give them finally a download link to get the report that they wanted to get to. And that, guys, is very, very simply, or maybe not so simply, the funnel that we've structured. So it's taken me about an hour to get through it. So you can see, even though it's fairly simple, I think I've given you a really in-depth look at the components, what's involved in the funnel, and how to actually put your own funnel together. So in reality, it's really simple, right? It's 3 pages. There's 1 or 2 videos on there, and if you didn't want a video, you don't even need a video. Videos work better, but if you just use text, that would work fine as well. So don't look at this and say, oh, I can't do it because I can't do a video. No, you can. Okay, I'm giving you a best case scenario, but you don't need to do this. There's always an easier way. And then, of course, there's the report itself. Okay, so let us go back to our trusty PowerPoint presentation. And now we've covered the lead generation piece in the funnel. Now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this lead magnet creation. So what I'm going to do at this point, I'm just going to pause while I take some water. Do any of you have any questions at this point? Normally I wait till the end, but I think this is actually a good point to ask for questions. Any questions that you guys have on what we've covered up until now, the structure of the funnel and the basic pages?
Hi, James.
Yeah. How's it?
Yeah, good, man. 2 questions. Those invitation mails, how do we get them to go to the lead magnet? So those are manual emails, right? From our previous messaging that we did, right?
Yeah. They come
back and say, we've asked them, ping me if you want more information. So once they ask for that more information, we send them a link to that lead magnet landing page.
That's one way to do it. A bit later today in part 4, I'm going to show you a way that you can do a direct outreach. So either to the emails that you've acquired through your through LinkedIn, or through any other means that you want to actually go ahead and use.
Okay. And then the next question is, let's say that they've actually booked a online session via the first 3 pages. Do we remove them from that email sequence that's coming afterwards, or do we just send it to them in anyway?
Sorry, say that again?
So let's say someone has...
Yeah? There is a way to do that. There's an automated way, and then obviously there's also a way to do it from a manual perspective. So what you're going to see is that we use automation to get as many people in, but the minute that they actually respond, what we will then do is, and I'll show you this in the email sequence, the idea is then to basically take them out of that and take them into either your personal email, that which you send out every day, your Outlook or your Gmail or whatever, because now you're talking to a hot lead, or to get them onto a phone, or to get them into a consultation. But the answer to that is yes. I'll probably show you that next week when I get into showing you the automation, some really, really cool stuff that we can do with that, and the whole platform. So absolutely, yeah. Cool. All right, you guys good? Any other questions there? Alrighty, let's get on and talk a little bit about lead magnet creation. So this idea of the lead magnet, which of course is this report, is really, really important. So, you know, I joke about it, and I'm actually sorry I didn't put my little slide in. I've got a slide with a little devil on the shoulder when we try to get people to opt in. But it's actually quite a thing to get people to opt in today, because people are becoming immune, and people don't like to give away their information, even if it is just, say, a first name and an email address. I don't know, people are just funny. They'd rather not go ahead and do that. We need them to go ahead and do that, so we give them something that is of such huge value that it's a no-brainer. Now, what I want to do is, oops, sorry, that should have come later. Give me a second. What I want to do is, I just want to go forward to where we spoke a little bit about our pains and our gains. Okay, so now when we went through this, you'll remember that we spent a lot of time working out what the frustrations were and what the hot buttons were. And in fact, probably the key thing, if you remember, we had this little exercise where we looked at the client criticals, and really based on those client criticals, we built out our magic message. So if we look at it, if we take one of these client criticals, right, and we solve one of these problems, we've got an exceptionally good chance of people actually opting in. So that's one of the other reasons that we've gone through all of this trouble. And sometimes when you went through this process, you might have found that you've actually got, you know, more than one. Now, in our LinkedIn profile, we might have targeted one of those things specifically, but now we have an opportunity to maybe target another one. So all I'm saying to you is the information that we did, or that hard work that we did in the first module, where we went ahead and we tried to find out all about our ideal client and what were the things that we're going to move them, and ultimately it's going to be these client criticals. Just take one of these and build your lead magnet around that. Okay, so let me take you back to where we're at the moment. So we're here, we're looking at the report itself. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to, let me get out of this and go back into, remember when we downloaded the report, it looked like this. Let me see if I can just make that a touch smaller so I can get onto one page. So as you can see, it's an 8-page report. First page is very simple. It's a cover page. So again, are they in the right place? It's a simple 3-step system successful accountants use to get new clients every month. Then as you can see, the next page is a table of contents. It's the 3 steps. And I'm going to talk you through this in some detail in a minute. Okay, I'm just giving you the big overview, just so that you can actually kind of see what it looks like. Step 1, step 2, step 3. There's the template, and I'll show you that in a bit more detail in just a moment. And then at the end, this is really what I want to show you, because this is the purpose. Your next steps, right? So we want them to go through this stuff. It's relatively simple, but I like to do things that are complete, and that's why I love to do systems, and that's what I want to encourage you to do. So this is an entire system. It's a cumbersome system for people to use because it's manual. A lot of the stuff that I do, I'm actually able to scale, and I'm able to show people how to take something that's manual and to automate it. So you'll see that the way that I work with a lot of people is I'm very, very happy to share a lot of my information for free, and then I basically charge for implementation. So technically, anybody could have taken that first webinar that we did. I think it was about 2 hours long, and they could have gone ahead and implemented a version of what I taught on LinkedIn. Because I taught everything there. But what I did was I taught you what to do, but I couldn't teach you how to do it. So the fact that we spend a lot more time with each other now, this allows me to show you how to do things. We go into it in great detail. I show you, I go into the psychology, I go into my thinking, I give you all my templates. So I take you to where I'm one step away from actually doing it for you. I'm holding your hand literally every step of the way. And this is why I want you guys to actually go ahead and to build one of these. And it's not particularly hard at all. I'm going to talk you through the process in a minute. But what I do want to show you is, obviously at the end, as I'm going through it, so here what I did is I gave them a manual system. I want to upsell them. So I say, yeah, while the system works, okay, so I'm up here now, while the system works, I'm sure that you know that it could be much more efficient if you are able to automate the process. This enables you to scale your lead generation as well as have prospects automatically booking consultations with you. if you'd like help with automating the entire system so that your only involvement is to hold consultations with your prospects, then feel free to jump on a quick 10-minute, no obligation call with me. You can book time on my calendar. So obviously that's going to go where I need to go. While you're there, feel free to look around my site and learn more about me and the many ways that I can help accountants like you to get more clients and sell more services by leveraging the internet. And then of course it's just contact details. All right. And then here's that little PS again, get onto the webinar if you don't want to get onto the calendar. Now, this webinar is pretty cool because if you get onto this webinar, it's the first one in the series, and I actually do a whole lot of them. So this is quite a strong call to action for me, because the more webinars I do, the more time people spend with me, the more they get exposed to me, the more they see about my knowledge, because each webinar, tackles something that's different. And it's a funny thing, as I do more and more webinars, I get more and more clients, and they generally come back and we do the thing we did on the first webinar. It's an amazing thing, but that's all about the follow-up. But guys, this is what it's all about. Get on the calendar. This whole process is just get on the calendar. Okay, so what I did is I've got another PowerPoint presentation which I'm going to show you, so that I can go into greater detail. Oops, sorry, hang on a second. I need to do a bit of customizing here to get it onto. Come on. What is happening here? Yeah, sorry, that's what we needed. There we go. So now we should get it on the screen. There we go. Okay. So I want to actually take you through this whole report. So there's 8 pages in the report. I want to talk you through it. So the cool thing about it is that this report is actually going to teach you how to create your version of this. But I'm going to talk you through it at a more detailed level so that you know exactly what's going on. And in fact, kind of what I'm doing now is actually what I pretty much did in the video on the thank you page. So you can watch the video and you can see you're going to do exactly the same thing. So again, a cover page. Now you can see this is built in PowerPoint, right? Simple. All I did is I went into PowerPoint. I then created an A4 page, because in South Africa we work with A4, and if you're sending out a PDF, it makes no difference what it is because everybody uses Adobe. So I used A4. I pulled in an image and it's PowerPoint. It's just created in PowerPoint. Pretty simple. The next step is the table of contents. So again, PowerPoint allows you to create a table of contents automatically based on the number of pages. And as we can see, let's go through this one by one. So obviously the very first thing that I'm doing is I'm just giving a little bit of context, right? So I'm talking about the way that people buy accounting services has changed. So I let people know that. And it's very important because I've got to get a lot of accountants away from doing that stuff manually to doing it online. So really what I'm doing is I'm setting the context. And you can see here, I say that because of the way that it's changed, people are doing a lot of online research, and you guys know that. That's why a lot of you are on, probably all of you are actually on this particular training today, is because you know that people are online. So we're saying, well, how do we make sure that when they're online they actually find us? So this is all I'm doing. I'm letting people know that they're going to be looking for information and that we should be the people that they find. Now I'm going to take them into the 3-step process. So it's very, very simple. And this is the exact process that you're going to follow to create the system. So the first thing is you're going to identify the biggest problem. Well, guess what? That is the very, very first thing that I taught you to do in a little bit more detail. And that's the first thing that's going to happen. So ultimately, let's go end up in those client criticals and let's create something around that. So really, the key question, as we said, is to ask, well, what keeps them awake at night? You're probably going to know that, as we've said. If you don't, well, guess what? Just choose something around cash flow or compliance and you'll have an absolute winner, because that's what the vast majority of our clients are looking for. But really, the goal here is find a problem that they have that you can solve. And remember, this report that you're creating, or this little system that you're creating, it's a very simple thing. It's one problem, one solution. So even though it's a system, the system only solves one thing. It doesn't solve like a bazillion things. Just solve one little problem for them. Why? Well, because they need to get on the calendar to talk to you so you can solve all the other stuff. Okay? That's what this whole thing is about. So that's all we're doing, is we're finding out the problem that we can solve and we get to solve. Step 1, tick. Okay? Really simple. So step 2 now, this is really where we have to create the lead magnet. And the best way really to create the lead magnet is, as I've said, to create a system. But the thing with a lead magnet is that, in today's day and age, people, unfortunately, they're very they have a short sort of span of attention. There's this instant gratification way of the world, as it were, right now. Everybody wants everything now. They can't wait. And if you don't give it to me within 3 seconds, then I'm closing the website. So we have to try to get information across to people as fast as we possibly can, so that we can actually get them to the next step. So we don't want to put in information that is unnecessary. So we have as little information as we can, because the goal is they must go through the information, because they can't know how awesome our stuff is unless they've actually taken the trouble to go through the system. So the information that we put in is as short as possible, it's concise as possible, but not at the expense of that which is important. But we want them to be able to pick it up, go through it, preferably literally in like 5 minutes. If you can get somebody to whip through something in 5 minutes, you have a winner. Even less time, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, even better. Okay, so that's really what we're trying to do here. So that's step 2, create the lead magnet that solves the problem. Now here are a couple of ideas for you. Now I really do want you to actually use the system that I'm showing you now, which is to create a system. But sometimes you're going to find that you can create all sorts of other lead magnets. It doesn't have to be this one. This one just works particularly well in what we're doing here. But you could pop out a checklist, right? So let's say somebody was looking, for example, to start a new business, or they wanted to know what they had to do to be compliant. You could have a tax and business compliance checklist, okay, and somebody would opt in for that. They give you a name and email. Things like cheat sheets, case studies work extremely well. People love to see case studies. In other words, how did somebody else do it? And particularly in the tax space, that's where you guys will do particularly well as accountants. Excuse me. Short reports, worksheets, anything like that. And then, as you can see there, I say one of the best and the most effective, and that's the one I want you to use here, because it kicks ass like you have no idea. It's a 3-step system that's going to help people to solve their problem. And 3 steps, 3 is the magic number. Always, you'll see in marketing lots of 3s. People love 3. They can get their head around 3. It's not intimidating, and most good marketing systems is always 3. It's kind of that rule of 3. So 3 steps, simple as that. So as you can see there, I say that, and this is in the report, I'm saying one of the biggest secrets to building a consistent stream of new clients in your practice is to build up an email list of prospects who you can continually market to by sending them an email. Every time you send the prospects an email, you have the opportunity to offer them consultation, free or paid. Over time, this will result in a steady stream of new clients every month. Now, the only reason I'm highlighting this for you is I just want to illustrate to you, this is my version, you need to do your version. There comes a point sometimes in this report where we have to actually educate our clients or our prospects into why it's necessary for them to do this. So, I'm explaining to them why they should build an email list. It's not rocket science, but it doesn't follow that they know, because this is not what most accountants do. They are accountants, they're not marketers. So my job is to turn accountants into marketers. So I have to do a little bit of education as I'm going through the rest of that process. And then, of course, step 3 is to go ahead to find the prospects to send your lead magnet to. Now, in your world, you're going to have a lot of them on LinkedIn, but here's another way to do it, by the way. And this is the other bonus I'm going to show you a little bit later on. So I say what I suggest you do for now is to choose a niche which you believe for the purpose of lead generation campaign. The reason is that it's easier to find people in a single industry than it is to find general business owners. So I have another thing here where I talk about accountants. So I say that I help accountants. It's a simple matter for me to find accountants on Google. So I just type in things like list of accountants in my area. So I might say list of accountants in Edenvale, or I might say accountants in Edenvale, or directory of accountants in Johannesburg. Okay, so I promise you it's it's really no more complex than that. And I don't care what niche you chose, I promise you there's a directory somewhere. And I'm not even talking about LinkedIn, right? Obviously, the leads that we've got from LinkedIn, you don't even have to go through that process. You already have them. This is just another way, and I'm just showing you in this particular system. And then you can see at the end here, when I'm talking to people and I'm explaining them how to actually go ahead and build out their collateral and the sites and that sort of thing, I've given a couple of resources, Fiverr.com and Upwork. I did in the first session, just to remind you guys, I work with somebody called Misha. Misha is really good at all of the stuff. She writes copy, she does websites, she'll do all the funnel stuff for you, she'll do any of the graphics and that, and at like stupidly ridiculous prices. I think she twisted her arm to to doing a LinkedIn banner for you for like $100, which is like nothing. So, but if you need anything else done or proofreading or whatever, chat to her. In fact, what I will try and do, I'll see if I can twist her arm again and get her onto the webinar next week, so you guys can have a chat to her and she can tell you a little bit more about herself and what she does. But yeah, very, very simple in terms of how to get everything done. Then obviously now we need to send out an email template, and this email template is one that I use very effectively, and you'll see this a little bit later on. Now again, if you're using LinkedIn, you'd still use the same template. You'll just tweak it a little bit because now you have a place where you've actually found them. Now what you can see here on the left hand side is the template, and then on the right hand side is a practical example of how I've used the template. Honestly, it's pretty simple. It's really not rocket science. Go through it. Just implement the stuff that you do, and off you go, and you send it off. Okay, so that is really how you would actually go ahead and create your 3-step system. So work out whatever your 3 steps are. So for me, if we go back, so step 1 was identify the biggest problem, and then I showed you a couple of things. Step number 2, create a lead magnet that solves their problem, and the lead magnet I want you to create is the system. Literally, what are the 3 steps it takes to get the result, and just talk about it, write something out, and tell people. Okay, so you don't have to show them how to do it, remember, just tell them what they've got to do. How, they must get on the calendar and book with you, and then you will tell them. And then obviously step 3 here was, in my case, I'm telling them how to go ahead and to find prospects, and then obviously to give them a resource, which is the template, to go and do that. So you can see that when I got to the end, and I got into this piece about that this was the manual system, what was I doing? I was giving them a reason why they should get on my calendar, and of course there's the link to get back on the calendar. So it's really it's a simple system. Literally just take mine, just sort of copy the principles, but all it is it's create a 3-step system for whatever problem is you're going to solve, and solve it. And then very much like I did for you now, I just walk through it, and you'll see when you actually go and watch my video on the thank you page, just do that, and that job is done and it's finished. Okay, so that is the report. Let me pause again and ask, do you guys have any questions at this stage that you want to ask regarding the lead magnet or the report or the 3-step system? Any questions there? Are we good to go? Okay. So let's then move on to the email follow-up sequence. So the email follow-up sequence consists of these few emails. So how this thing works, if I go through this with you, when they actually opt in, this first email over here goes out immediately. So you see the 0 here, that's day 0. So 0 means immediately. Then what's going to happen is the next day, in other words, day 1, you see below here that the 1 in brackets, that's when the next email goes out. Then on day 3, in other words, 3 days later, the next email goes out. Another 3 days later on day 6, the next email goes out. Another 3 days later on day 9, and then the last one on day 12. Okay, when I say the last one, that's in this email sequence. And again, this whole process, as you have seen, is designed to get you a consultation. In other words, somebody face-to-face with you. So you can use your LinkedIn contacts, and you can send them straight in here, which is what I suggest you do. But you can also later on use this system to put other people into the system that you don't necessarily acquire through LinkedIn. And also what you can do is you can do something else on LinkedIn, so you can follow up with them, and then when you've got to the point where you need the next step in the process, then you can implement something like this. And you can do this process over and over. So you could have 3 or 4 of these, and you might roll out, say, 1 a month. And if you build something up front, you've got automated marketing content going out to convert new prospects into hopefully paying clients, and you've got 4 months to do it. So it becomes very, very powerful as we go through that. So without further ado, let me now take you back into the system and what it looks like. So going back to our overview, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you all of the information. Now, inside here, I have all of the copy of my particular email. So if we click on the delivery email, the one that goes out immediately, instead of this time clicking the cog, I want you to just click next door here where it says notes. And you'll see that what I've done in the notes is I've actually given you my entire email sequence. So literally, you can just copy and paste this into the email autoresponder of your choice. Next week, I'm going to show you how to use the one that's integrated into the platform that I'm going to give you with this. If you use something else, well, fine, just put it into the something else. My suggestion to you is, and all of my coaching clients, they coach on Builderall because everything is integrated and it's easy. That would be my suggestion to you. I'm just giving you everything as you see it. So this first email that goes out, here's the subject line. So the subject line says, your report is ready for download, plus a few other things. So again, remember, when this email pops into their inbox, we've got to be careful of spam. So the email service providers are trying to check everything, so I stay away from some words like free and that sort of thing in the subject line. I try to make it look as if it is very, very natural. And I'm letting people know what it is because I want them to download it and I want them to actually open it. Now, there's a very good chance at this point that they are expecting it because remember, they did just opt in moments ago. So I said that your report is ready for download, and plus a few other things. So they don't know what the few other things are. The plus a few other things is for a little bit of curiosity. So I love email subject lines that have a benefit. So the benefit is get your report, download it. So there's a benefit. And then the curiosity is plus a few other things. It's like, okay, so what are these other things? All right, I'm curious. Remember, we hate open loops as people. We've got to close the loops. So if they're curious, they're going to want to click on it and see what's in there. So the first part of this says, here's the link to your special report called the three-step system successful accounts used to get new clients every month, so that you can download it right now. And then there's the link. So remember that whole process. We didn't want to give it to them directly in case they gave us the wrong email. When they click there, it's going to take them to the download page over here. Now the next thing that I do. So this is very simple, right? It's like, okay, here's the thing. The next thing I'm going to do is we just take again, and I love this piece. All right, this piece over here is, in many ways, is the most important piece of this whole email. And again, it's the rules of social engagement. It's like, hey, if we're just meeting for the first time, you should know that we help accountants to set up automated online systems that generate a minimum of 2 new clients every month. So hey, you and I had a networking event. We're at this big 600 million person business breakfast. We chat, hey, I'm James, okay, I'm John, what do you do? Blah blah blah. Oh, that's cool, John. Well, John says, so what do you do, James? I said, oh, well, I help accountants, to set up automated online systems to generate a minimum of 2 new clients every month. Okay, and then John's going to make an assessment as to whether he wants to speak to James or not. If that is something that's appealing, that conversation will go on. If not, John and James will make some little comment and we'll move on to the next person. So that's all we're doing. We're introducing ourselves. Haven't met you before, so I'm saying, hey, if we're just meeting for the first time, that's what I do. Perfect. So if you did nothing else, okay, in this email, and you just did that, okay, just did that, it's perfect. You don't need any more. I'm going to take this to the next level for you, but if you just did that, this job is done. You've done the delivery, you've introduced yourself, and you've set the stage and the scene for you to actually go ahead and to now send emails out in the future. What I like to do here is I like to give them other ways that I can actually help them. So as I said to you, in my world, what I do is I give away a lot of stuff for free. I'm very happy to share information freely because of my backstory. For those of you that don't know, I was actually forced to walk away from my practice because I didn't know how to get new clients. So that's why I'm so passionate about this, and I teach this specifically to accountants. So I'm very happy to give away a lot of my information. Sadly, the sad truth is, as you know from what we covered a bit earlier today, a lot of people won't do anything with it. And so I'm saying, okay, well, I want to deal with the progressive people that will do something with it. And in many cases, the best way and the quickest way for those progressive people to get a result is to work with me. So I'm trying to find as many ways as I can to start a conversation or to get people to opt into a list, because the minute I've got that, I can start to communicate with people. And once the communication starts, I can nurture, and over time, a percentage of those people convert into clients. Okay, that's the principle. It works every time. It's not rocket science. It just takes consistency. So what I've done over here, and again, you don't have to follow what I've done. I just want you to take the principle and apply it. So I've got a whole bunch of things. You might just have one or two or nothing. Doesn't matter. But if you do have ways that you can work with people where you can give away value for free, so that you give people the opportunity to see what it's like to work with you without having to pay any money or to take risks. You give them a little bit of value, they'll be more than happy to then ascend up that value ladder and eventually become paying clients. So let's have a look at what we do here. We say here that we have created a special membership site for our accounting community that houses replays of our monthly webinars, as well as training courses on all aspects of digital marketing applicable specifically to accountants. You can sign up for complimentary access here. Okay, simple. So we've done that. I think there are about 18 courses in that little membership area, and people can sign up. But guess what? When you sign up, hey, I got your email address. So pretty cool, right? And that just gives me a different way to email. You might say, I've got your email address anyway. Yes, I have. But the more times I get to do this, the more sign-ups I get. And also, don't forget, what a lot of people will do is they will forward this email to other people. And that way I'm now getting email addresses for somebody that I didn't know before. So the more value you give people, the more that they will spread these resources for you. Another thing that I do, as you can see here, as I say, you get regular access to my special one-page regular accounting client blueprint, where I show you how to put your marketing plan into a single page. That's super simple. I run my business with this blueprint and so do all my accounting clients. Access it here. So again, it's an opt-in, and this is letting people know what it is that I do in a little bit more detail. And guess what? The end result of this is, hey, get on my calendar. Would you believe? And then I say, and whenever you're ready, I teach. There's a bit of a typo there. Let's fix that for you. I teach a new online class every month showing you how to automate your marketing and leverage the incredible power of the internet so that you can scale your business and regularly get new clients and sell more services. Just register here and we'll send you an invitation to all the monthly classes. We also provide CPD or CPE certificates if you need one. And this you'll find on my site. It's really simple. So I'm trying to get people into that first webinar, because when they do, then obviously we have a whole... They automatically go onto our list, and then every month we simply just invite everyone that's on our list to the next webinar. It's quite simple. And obviously the more people that get onto webinars, the more people I have an opportunity to get onto consultations, and the more people I have an opportunity to close. Really, really simple. And then the last thing I say, if you ever want to get some one-on-one help, you can jump onto a quick call to brainstorm how you can get more leads, more sales, and more time. And of course, again, what is that? That's just directly, hey, get onto my calendar. And obviously I've stopped the email here, but you would have your email signature, put it below. All right. So that's the first email. That's all there is to it. So really simple. If we go through it at a very high level again, I'm saying your report's ready for download plus a few other things. So benefit, they're expecting to get it. I'm giving it to them. I'm fulfilling a promise. I'm referencing the last thing that we did. Remember, they're expecting to get the report plus a few other things, creating a little bit of curiosity. Then I'm saying, here's the thing. Go get it. There's the link. And then I'm introducing myself. Hey, if this is the first time we're meeting, this is what I do. Oh, and by the way, I help in all sorts of other ways. So if you want help, knock yourself out. Go and use any of these methods, and obviously I'm trying to get them ultimately to get onto a consultation. Okay, so that's the first email. That's the email that goes out. Now, clearly the key thing with this email is to give them the download. Okay, that was the most important thing. Now, you and I both know that with the best one in the world, they are not getting on your calendar, or not all of them, at the very, very first time of asking. What is it with people? You would think that they would jump onto our calendar so that we can help them. Sadly not. And sadly not is for lots of reasons, but one of the reasons is people just get busy. Now don't stress about it. And also it's a numbers game, right? So you might reach out to 100 people and maybe only 3 of them are going to get in your calendar. Do not worry about it, okay? That might be 3 people now, but in a year's time, those 3 are 13. Don't stress about it. Just know it happens. Like, not everybody reacts, and not everybody reacts when you want them to. So now, what we want to do is we now want another follow-up sequence. So I alluded to this sequence last week, and I told you that I was going to run through it now. You can actually use this at the back end of the LinkedIn sequence that I showed you, or you can put it here. I've used it in both places. It just depends. This is such a beautiful sequence. Let me explain to you what it does. So this first email is a very simple one, and really what I'm saying in this first email is that I realized. So hang on, let's start off at the top here. Here's my subject line: guide and quick question. Okay, so again, guide, this is actually more curiosity than anything. So the guide, they don't know that at this point that it's the guide that I want them to download, and I'm doing that purposely because I want there to be some curiosity where they say, what? People cannot avoid a question. And remember, this email that's going out in many ways is coming from you as an accountant, so it's going out in a professional capacity. So when people get emails from their accountant, they kind of tend to open them. And if the accountant says quick question, it's like, what? Let me open it. So this is quite a good way to get it open. Now, understand something. Every time we put something out, so we spoke a bit earlier on about a headline. So this is like the headline in your email. The only job, okay, of this subject line is to get them to open the email. Okay, you're not trying to sell what's in the email. That's the email's job. The only job is to get it open. So that's why there's a little bit of curiosity. Yeah, but it's not something that's unrelated. Okay, it's not something stupid. And whatever I put inside is related to this. Okay, so don't cheat people and don't be silly. Give them what it is that they want. So I'll say here that I noticed that you requested my special report called the 3-step system successful accountants use to get new clients every month yesterday. I wanted to personally say thanks. The guide will take you less than 5 minutes to read, and it's easy to put into action. And okay, so this is me reaching out, telling them there's something. Now, what you'll notice here, there's no links and stuff here. Okay, I am just telling them at this point that I've noticed that they've downloaded the guide. I'm really happy with it, and what it's actually done is it's given me an excuse to talk to them. So what am I trying to do? It's what the principles I've been teaching you over and over and over again in this whole LinkedIn process is I'm trying to start a conversation. So the conversation starts here. So that's just my reason for writing to you. Okay, the conversation says, by the way, I'm curious, how do you currently get new clients into your practice? I'd love to help if I can. Now again, people cannot avoid a question. So even if they're not going to answer that question, in other words, they're not going to press send and tell you, their mind is going to ask them the question, and in their heads they're going to answer it. If at this point they feel compelled to actually go ahead and to take you up on your services, or that they feel they want to talk to you about it, they will answer. And the minute somebody answers, what then happens is they are taken out of this system over here, because this whole system that I've shown you is automated, and from here they will go directly into your personal email account, your Gmail account, or your Outlook, or whatever it is that you use. And that's great, because that's where you want it, because now you've got warm people. And remember, we spoke about hot potato last week. Now you hot potato, back and forth. And so again, they'll come back with something, and then they'll just say, so how many clients? And then you'll say, so if I could actually help you with a system that could get you more clients, would that be of interest to you? And you just keep getting to the point where eventually they say yes, and then ultimately, if you have got them to the point where you've established, remember we said whether they've got a need, whether the need is urgent, or whether they have authority. If you get to that point, hey, guess what? Hey, get on my calendar, and then you take it from there. Okay, same process over and over, whether it's this or it's LinkedIn. That's why I created this specifically for you guys. This is something that dovetails so perfectly with what we did with LinkedIn. So that's our first email, and it's our first attempt really to get talking. Then these next 3 emails are all the same. Okay, they're the same in principle. So let me talk to you about what the principle is. Remember when we worked out what our client criticals were, or what some of those big problems were that our clients would like us to deal with? What I've done for each of these emails, I've simply dealt with one of those problems. And the way that I like to do it, and again, you don't have to do, you can just do it in an email. I like to take it to the next level. So the next level that I've taken it to is I've created a video and I've put it on my blog. So again, this is another opportunity for me to create another touch point, right? So I want people to get the email. I want them to get excited in the email. I want them to say, that's cool, click the email, go to my blog. Hopefully from my blog, they'll go to other stuff, they'll register, they'll download things, they'll buy things, whatever the case is. So remember, our website, we said, is our authority. It's our place of business. Everything is going to go there, and this is just another way to get them there. So if you want, here's my YouTube link. You can go ahead and you can check it out. You can also go through the email itself. So what I've done here is I'll just say automatic clients. So again, what the hell does that mean? That's my subject line, automatic clients. So there's a bit of curiosity there, but there's some idea of what it is. It's all about clients, so there's a little bit benefit to it. And then I'll just say, hi, first name. Getting new clients can be hard. You've tried everything, but you're just not getting a consistent flow of new clients in your practice. Your go-to strategy has always been word of mouth, but referrals have all but dried up. over the last few years, and networking is just too slow. You just don't have the time to do it anymore. Maybe you just lost a few key clients and you don't know how to replace them. You also know the risks your business faces by not consistently adding to your client base. Maybe you're doing okay, but you want to take your business to the next level, or maybe you're thinking of selling and you need to get more clients onto the books so in order to get a fair price. Finally, I figured a way to help you to get regular flow of clients into your practice every single month, and the best part is it's all automated. The system will fill your calendar with eager prospects literally begging you to be their accountant. I just shot you a quick video to show you how to set up your automated system and to help you to generate qualified prospects who are already in the right frame of mind to hire you when they come to a consultation with you. And then obviously I shoot through, let's see if we can go here quick. Let's do that in a new tab. All things being equal, this will take us to the blog. I just want to show you once over. You guys can go after this and go through it with a fine-tooth comb and see what I've done. Right now, all I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to give you a big picture overview so that you understand the principle. It's really, really simple. So now this is taken into the blog, and you can see how to automate your lead generation so you always have a full pipeline of prospects. Again, it's very congruent with what you saw in the email. You can watch the video, and you can see it's not long. This is one of the longer ones, actually. It's 4.5 minutes, 4 minutes 28. Where I'm kind of explaining everything, and then again, while the video is here is the explanation. Okay, this is what I'm really talking about, and it goes through the whole thing. This is talking about a little bit about a simple lead generation funnel, and then at the end I've got a call to action. Right? What's the call to action? Here I've decided for me the best thing to do is to try to get people to register onto a webinar, because remember, once they get onto that first webinar, I'll get them onto subsequent webinars because they're on my list, and this webinar is automated. Okay, so if they can click there, they can click there, they can click on this image, or they can click here. So there's many ways to get them there. And that's really the whole process. So if I go back here just to run through this whole thing again, really all that I did, okay, for all three of these is I went back to the client criticals. I went back to where I had issues that people wanted solved. One problem, one solution. I wrote a very simple email which was going to get people to go to the blog. They went to the blog, they watched the video, and obviously on the blog there was other calls to action after they'd watched the video or read the blog. Now, if you don't want to go through all of that trouble because you think it's hectic, you know what? You can just do it in the email. So instead of actually taking them to the blog, when you get to the end, you just have your call to action. Hey, if you'd like any help with this, get on my calendar, here's the link. Okay, so there's a downscale version. I'm giving you the best of the best here. You just decide what it is that you want to implement. But if you want to implement everything, you've got everything that you need here. Okay, so all three of these are the same. I just covered different things. So it's not rocket science. Get paid what you're worth. You raise your fees. I can't remember what this whole thing was about. And then the last one, I think this probably was all about outsourcing. More productive time. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm teaching some cool stuff. So as you can see in this whole process, all right, not once have I tried to sell anybody anything. I'm getting people onto my list. I'm building a bit of a relationship. I'm doing some nurturing. When they're ready, they will reach out to me. This last email is my absolute favorite. I love this email more than anything. And this email is one that I want you to implement into your practices. I want you to put it into your LinkedIn messaging. I want you to do this once a month. I want you to put this into your autoresponder sequence. I want you to email everybody that's a client, potentially. You can tweak it a bit for existing clients, and anybody who's not a client that's on your list. And it is so simple. Look at this, not rocket science, right? So I would say first name, work with me. Then I would say here, would you like to work with me to get new clients in your practice, James? And you can see this here is very is very simple. I'm just being very casual here, and there's no big explanation. There's depending on where I'm sending this from, and this is for the most part, I'm going to make this look like it's actually come from my personal email. Now, I might have my email signature, but that's a signature. That's all it is. This is very casual. This is, hey, James. It's not James Malfidis or anything like that. It's just James. They'll see from my email signature, and you'll be surprised at how many people give you a result on this. Now, if you do this once a month, people will kind of get used to it, and it'll be fine. And guess what happens? Month 1, they're not ready to work with you. Month 2, no. Month 6, no. Month 8, something happens. Oh, geez, yes, please. Now I need you. And guess what? They've seen you all the time. So this email comes on day 12 at the end of this sequence. So this is trying to do something very specific. But use this principle, guys. Once a month, literally email everybody that's on your list and just say, hey, do you want to work with me? And over time, you will be amazed at how many people say, heck yeah, I want to work with you. And that's how you get people onto your list and to become paying clients. Okay, so that is the email sequence and everything that goes into that. So, anything else, guys, that you guys need to know about this email sequence? Colin, significance of Jennifer, it's a name, there's a significance, but not to you. So it's just a name of the email. It just comes from one of the guys that actually taught it to me. It's his baby, and I've just sort of adapted it. It's just something that I used to for myself, but it's of no significance to you in terms of what you're doing. Alina's apologized because he's had to go. Any questions before? I'm just going to show you the last piece where I'm going to show you the direct email invitation sequence, and then we'll tie it up for today because we're just about finished. Do you guys want to ask any questions at this point, or should I just do that and then open it up in 5 or so minutes time? Okay, doesn't look like any other questions coming through, so let me do that quickly and actually go ahead and show you the last little piece of this. So obviously we've handled that. So I say this is the bonus, and it is a bonus because I'm going to give you a sequence. I do have another whole training on this if you actually want to do this properly, but this is quite a beast. There's quite a bit you need to know about setting up cold email outreach if you want to do it at scale. Here I'm not necessarily teaching you how to do it at scale. You can do this individually, but obviously as you scale things and automate it, so it becomes better. So it's this sequence over here really. Now again, you've already got relatively warm leads from LinkedIn, so you could actually take those leads. So that's where you would get leads from, for example, or like I showed you in the report, if you go and do some Google search and find people on a directory or whatever, you can then actually reach out to them. So let's go and have a look at what that looks like. So again, as we've spoken about, it's all about finding these frustrations and things, finding something in there or in the other side a want, and then emailing people accordingly. So oops, sorry, did not mean to do that. Sorry, I jumped again a bit. In fact, I'll go here so that just now I can get you to the final piece. So let me go back to our trusty funnel and show you the sequence. So the first email in the sequence is very similar actually to the email that I had shown you in the report. Okay, so you remember this report? If we go up a couple of a page, this email template here, that's what it is. Okay, really simple. It's my version of it. So let's go and have a look at what it looks like. So I would say here, subject line, marketing guide for accountants. Okay, so it's fairly obvious what it is. John, that's obviously the first name. I love keeping in contact with my LinkedIn connections. So this is one where obviously I'm taking that those first level LinkedIn connections and I'm just exporting that. And what I'll do every month or so is I'll export all the new ones, and then I'll just send this sequence just to them. Obviously I'm not going to send the whole sequence to everybody because I've already gone through the sequence with them. What I might do is if I create different versions of this, then I'll send it to everybody again. So I'll say I just wrote a quick 4-page guide how to implement a simple 3-step system if you need to get a regular flow of clients and you need them quickly. It's called the 3 things successful accountants do to get new clients every month. It shows you how to find a list of ideal prospects and what you need to do to get them to book a consultation with you. Would you like a copy? Just hit reply and let me know, and I'll shoot one over to you, James Malfetus. And then I just say a PS. It'll say it's fill in the blank email template that you're welcome to use to make initial contact with your ideal prospect. So really what have I done here? I've picked on again a client critical. I know this is something that they want. I've picked on an ideal client critical. I've created a system around it. I've said, hey, do you want this system? I'm not saying here it is or come by it. I'm just saying, hey, if you want it, let me know, I'll send it to you. It's as simple as that. And then of course if they send back and they reply and they say yes, guess what? Well, I'm sending them the link to this page over here, and it's going to take it through the rest of the funnel. Perfect, right? So guess what? A lot of them are not going to respond. So you're getting an email tomorrow. Not really tomorrow. What I'm going to generally tend to do with this, I'll generally drip this sequence out over about a month. Because you don't want to really be stalking on this, and you don't need to, because remember, these guys are consistently into your sequence anyway, so about a month is pretty good. You could even actually roll it out over 6 weeks if you wanted to. So the idea here is just to keep sort of top of mind. So again, I'm going to say one simple way to get regular monthly clients. So you can see I'm asking a question in the subject line. So this subject line, when I ask the question, if it's something that they're interested in, they're going to open it, and then the rest of the email actually follows on to answer the question. One thing that I just want you to notice as I'm going through these emails, they're actually a lot shorter than all of the others, and the reason is because it's slightly different. So these are direct outreach emails where people are not necessarily expecting them. The others are sort of part of our automation. It's the sort of thing that they're on our list. That's the sort of info they're going to expect. When you send somebody a cold email, which essentially this is, even if you're sending it to somebody that you know, then you want to be very short and succinct. You want them to be able to look at this very quickly, make a decision as to whether they're going to read it or not, and then if it's yes, you want them to do whatever. If no, then you want to give them the chance to actually bail out. So here's what I'll say. I'll say, first name, if you answered yes, or obviously this is to the question, want a simple way to get regular monthly clients, then I'd love to give you my new guide showing you a simple system that I created for my subscribers to show you how to generate quality new clients every month, called the Simple 3-Step System Successful Accountants Use to get new clients every month. You can have it implemented in the next 60 minutes. It shows you how to get your ideal prospects to book a consultation with you. Okay, so all of this is benefit. And then I say, hey, would you like a copy? Just hit reply, let me know, and I'll shoot you one. And then I'll just say over here, this is something that I quite like doing, particularly because remember, this is cold outreach. I'll say, P.S., if you aren't the right person to contact about this, let me know. And if you prefer that I don't follow up with you, you can let me know that too. And one of the cool things is that the systems that we use for this, if somebody actually replies, it actually automatically takes them out of the sequence. So that was also one of the answers to one of the earlier questions. How do we get them out? Because this is a cold outreach sequence, it's a slightly different methodology if you're doing it at scale, and if you are doing it at scale, then you want it to be automated, and as soon as an email comes back, it'll be automated and they'll be taken out. If you're doing it on a more personal basis, obviously you're going to manage it yourself, or you'll have maybe one of your staff members managing it. Okay, email 3, also kind of simple. New consultations. Again, I could have put a question mark. Remember, I'm talking to accountants. The question I ask myself is, what do they want? They want consultations, they want clients. So without giving away too much, I just put that in the subject line. The curiosity is like palpable. You can't help but to click on it. And then I just say, imagine if you woke up in the morning and had 2 potential new client appointments that were automatically booked on your calendar. The new 5-page report I created for accountants and financial advisors, called the Simple 3-Step System Successful Accountants Use to Get New Clients Every Month, will show you exactly how to make this a regular occurrence in your practice. And then same modus operandi. If you'd like a copy, just reply to this email and I'll send it right over, James. And then again, P.S., if you're not the right person, let me know who is, kind of thing. Number 4, again, this is really my last shot at trying to get them to convert. So again, I'm just saying the same thing different ways, right? Do you only speak to qualified clients? Name, so this might be John. Getting more leads and having consultations with potential new clients sounds awesome, but it may also mean having to spend more time talking to prospects that are not qualified to ever become a client. Okay, everybody has that problem. What if you could create a simple system that weeds out all of the tire kickers before you waste even a second of your precious time talking to them? That's exactly what you'll discover in my new guide called the Simple 3-Step System Successful Accountants Use to Get New Clients every month. If you'd like a copy, just reply to this email and I'll send it to you. Thanks, John, James. And then again, P.S., if you're not the right person, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so again, all I've done is over a period of maybe 4 to 6 weeks, I've reached out a number of times saying, hey, I've got this report. It's freaking cool. It's going to get you new clients. If you want it, let me know. That's all I've done. The last email in the sequence is, at some point, I've got to give up, right? Because you can't irritate people to the nth degree. At some point, you got to just accept that they're not ever going to reply to this email. So what I do here is I say, John, which number best describes you? Okay, so now it's like total change of pace. It's like, what on earth is that? What number best describes you? And remember, it's for accountants, so number kind of resonates. Then I say, hey, John, I sent you a few emails over the last couple of weeks inviting you to grab a copy of my new guide showing you a simple 3-step system that progressive accountants and financial advisors use to regularly get new clients. I never heard back from you. Maybe you could let me know with a simple 1, 2, or 3 response. So number 1 is you already have enough clients and I should remove you from the list. Number 2 is you're interested and I should send you the guide right away. And number 3 is while you're not interested in this particular report, I should keep you informed of future guides and webinars will help you to generate new clients and sell more services. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm giving them an easy out. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get them to talk to me. Because again, once I get somebody talking to me and engaging with me, then I can start asking questions and following up. Now, if they tell me number 1, get me off the list, guess what I'm going to do? I'm taking them off the list, right? Because no point in sending them more stuff. Because if they're irritated and they didn't answer this, they're probably not answering other systems that I may send them. So what's the point? I'm irritating them. They're just getting irritated by me. Just take them off the list. So it's really simple, right? If they're interested and they just haven't done it, they say, oh geez, sorry, please send it. Guess what? Then you send it and they go to the lead magnet. And then the other one, this one comes up quite a lot. A lot of times I'll get this response, you know what, I'm interested, I'm just busy now, I'm not ready now, but so just keep me on this and let me know of future stuff. Then what I go here and go and do here is I say, look, as this will be my last email relating to this guide, if you'd like to download the guide, you can do so here, and I actually give them the download link. So I've given myself a reason. So even though I've said number 2 here, and you'll be amazed at how many people will just send number 2 without even reading this. So it looks like it's repetition, and it is, but it's not redundant because people just don't read half the time. So sometimes they'll send you this and sometimes they'll just go and download it. And really you're basically saying, hey, I'm not going to talk to you about this again. This is your last chance. And it's not a threat. It's just, hey, listen, I know I've badgered you a little bit. I've given you an opportunity. If you're not interested, I accept that. I'm not going to talk to you about this again. Thanks. And end of story. And then, of course, we've got our PS here. If you're not the right person, let me know. And then again, if you prefer me not to follow up, let me know that too. Okay, so that is kind of the bonus of sending out a direct response campaign. There's a little bit more to this. If you guys want a proper training on this, I'm actually going to put a course together. It'll probably also be a 4 or 5 week course to really get into the nitty gritties to do this, because we do this at scale. We send out literally thousands of emails. We probably send out 1,000 emails a day when this thing is running at capacity. So we do it at a high scale. But remember, it doesn't matter where my clients are; they can be all over the world. So obviously, I'm not just talking into the South African market. But if that's something that you want, let me know. But really, guys, you should have everything that you need here. This is the whole funnel that you can implement. Now, let's talk about how we do that. I'm going to take you back to the trusty PowerPoint. When you get said trusty PowerPoint, when you download the slides, here are the things that you need to do. So the very first thing I want you to do is to go and register for a free Funalytics account, and you're going to use this this URL over here. Now, this is an affiliate link of mine. You do not need to buy anything. Okay. On the off chance that later on you become a better marketer and you want to actually use some of the other facilities that this has and you buy something, they will pay me some money for it. Okay, that's all that is. Whether you use my affiliate link or not, it's not going to affect anything that you're about to do. So just click that link and go and register an account. Okay, they're gonna offer you, I think they're gonna offer you something for $47 up front. Watch the video. It's how to build all sorts of other funnels. It's actually quite cool. If you want to buy it, but you don't need it, I just need you to have access to the software so that I can give you this. So what I showed you now was that whole funnel layout. So once you've created your account, you click on this puppy over here, and it will literally import exactly what I showed you today into your account. So you then have access to all of those all that email copy. You've got access to all my links to all the pages and everything. So you have the entire funnel for you to go and duplicate. Obviously, you're going to create your own version of it, but you have everything for you to model. You don't have to think about anything. You don't have to create anything. It's all there. So that's step 1. Step 2, and this is where I'm really going to get into a lot more detail with you next week, is I've given you a link here, and this is an affiliate link, and if you want the stuff from me, you have to use this link. Okay, this is very important. This is a free 7-day trial. Okay, so you're not going to be paying anything. There's no credit card required here, so this is great. This is a real opportunity for you to literally properly go and have a look at the whole system. I would have said to you today, go and register now, but seeing as I'm not, I'm actually register now. I actually am going to push the funnel to you because we've pretty much gone through it. Next week I'm going to show you just a little bit more of the automation that you can do. But register for this, then what will happen is, because you use my affiliate link in my dashboard, I will know that you have registered, and then I will push the funnel to you. So literally what happens is, based on the email address that you use to register, I will know what that is. I will then be able to literally click a button. The funnel will literally appear in your account. So I'll let you know when that happens. You literally log into your account and the funnel will be there. Literally. Next week, I'm going to show you how to actually edit it. So next week we get into the automation and stuff, but obviously you need to get it. So today I showed you the structure. This is how I push it to you, so you don't have to go create anything. The pages go where they're supposed to. The downloads work, the emails work, everything works. But next week I'm going to actually show you how to do it. So you are going to need this if you want to use my templates, or you can just take my templates, and if you've got something else you use, you can use it, but you're freaking crazy to do that, because this is the most powerful marketing platform literally on the planet that I've discovered. So we'll get into that next week. So go ahead, do these 3 registrations. I will know in my back office when you've done the last one. Only for those of you that do the last one, only you guys are going to get the funnel. If you don't do it, I'm not pushing the funnel, because there's no point. You're not going to be able to use it. The rest of you can just go through and watch the videos if you just want to go and duplicate it. But if you want me to push the funnel, I'll push it. So the first part's easy. So you'll have all the emails and things, right? So it's not like you don't have it. But if you actually want the mechanics of the funnel to be set up, then you go and you register for this free account, and I'll push it to you. And next week, I will show you how freaking awesome this platform really is. So next week, speaking of next week, we're going to talk about automation. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you into email marketing a bit more. I'm going to show you how to scale the outreach on LinkedIn. So there's some tools, or there's a particular tool I'm going to show you. We tested some stuff. They made some cool changes this week, so I'm actually really excited. Probably helps us a lot. So I'm quite glad actually that we only get to do that next week. Show you this platform that we're speaking about now, the Builderall platform, and I'm going to show you some of the other cool tools and some of the cool tricks that you can do with it. So next week's going to be freaking awesome. And then I think probably after this, we're actually only going to need, after next week, we need one more week, because I want to take you through that last bonus that I promised you, where I'm going to show you how to go close people. So I'm taking you through this whole process, and I'm getting people to book on your calendar. Remember, these are cold leads, even though we've warmed them up, taken them through our funnel and that. But what I do want to do is I want to give you a fail-safe way to actually convert those leads into paying clients. Okay, so that's probably what we'll do then. So let's see how next week goes. Remember I said the last session, which would technically have been last week, was going to be a Q&A, but we've kind of answered a lot of questions throughout, and I did open the ability to you guys, which I hadn't really done when I advertised the beta program in the first place. And the invitation still stands for anybody, anytime, until the end of the course. If you are implementing and you need to know anything, or you want to talk to me, just let me know. Send me an email, phone me, leave me a message. I'm quite busy at the moment, but I will find a time for you, whatever that takes. It might be in the evening, but we'll find a time. So please, if you have any issues, let me know. If you do have any questions, next week's going to be a really good time to ask them. So note down all of your questions, whatever they happen to have been throughout our whole process. Then we'll run through that, and we'll answer any of the questions that you have. What I'm going to do at this stage, because I think I'm done, I'm actually going to stop sharing and move this across. I'm going to just have a look at your comments now, and if there are any other questions, fire away. So Colin, again, there is significance, but not necessarily to me. So the spear, Colin, means a trying to remember what the acronym was, but it's a direct email that's expecting a result, okay, or a reply, I should say. So that's what the SPEAR stands for. And then HPV is just it's an acronym for us giving a video, all right, talking about a particular problem that we're going to solve. So again, there's no real significance. The significance is more for me in terms of when I build it up. It makes no difference to you. But he says, can you share the Builderall link for us, please? Actually, I can. Yeah, I should actually probably do that now. In fact, I may well have even had this open. I do. Here we go. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to pop that into the chat now for everybody, so you could actually go there right away. In fact, do you want all the links? Why don't I just give you all the links right now? Let me do that. Then you don't have to actually wait for this. Give me a sec, you guys. I'm just going to get back into our trusty PowerPoint. Okay, so there's your link to register your account, your Funalytics account, and then once you've registered your account, you're simply going to go and just click on this link. This is the funnel that I showed you today, exactly as you saw it today. Just go and import it into your account. Oops, sorry. Onto that account. There you go. So those are the 3 links that you'll need. Again, when I give you all the notes and things, you'll have them. So pretty simple and pretty easy. Let's go back and see if there were any other comments here that I need to see from earlier. Morris was last week's slides and notes uploaded in the members area. Yes, it was. So when you go into members area, at the top there's the different tabs. So if you click on week 3, you should see it there. If it's not, let me know. I didn't get anybody else say that it wasn't, so it should be. I'll be a little bit better this week. Last week was freaking hectic with a long weekend, and I'm a bit naughty, I have to be honest. I think I only uploaded on Monday night because we had gone away. It was crazy. A number of people, as I said, phoned me today to say they can't be on. Can I please get it up early? So it'll probably be later tonight because I've got a crazy day. But what I will do is I'll go through. I'll do the rendering of the video and uploading everything. So I'll get that up for you tonight. So you'll have it certainly by tomorrow morning. As far as this week's is concerned, I think we covered kind of most of the other stuff. Okay, guys, do you have any other questions there? Are you guys all happy? We did a marathon session today. Had a few slides. I thought, I'll be out early, but I guess not. 2 hours 10, well done. Carol says, James, very happy, thanks. Awesome, Carol. Lovely to have you on. Hopefully you guys are kind of following everything. It's all making a whole lot of sense. Again, the offer is open to you guys. If you need anything, please just contact me. I don't want you to be stuck really at the end of this course, man. I want like leads flowing literally into your practice every single week, and I want you to have the ability to really start closing clients. Okay, so Felicity says cheers until next week. Felicity, cool. I will call you a little bit later today, Felicity. I know I owe you a call. Apologies for that. We'll get to that. Colin says thanks. Awesome. So guys, many thanks, much appreciated. Enjoyed the session as usual, and we'll see you next week, same time, same place. Alright guys, until then, see you soon. Thanks, bye.